you want to say something? Aurora?
I don't know. I'd like to hear from him.
Good evening, fellas.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, the Taoism. It's interesting. You can get a book called the Tao of Pooh. As Pooh Bear explains Taoism. It's really cute. Talks about the
Do you mind, do you want to explain it just a little bit to me?
Well, I don't remember too much about it, but it's basically a philosophy, a way of thinking, and bringing yourself to understanding that you are creating your own paradigm by what you focus on becomes your reality, essentially. So if you have like vinegar, you can either believe that it's sweet, sour, or whatnot. You know, it's all in the mind. I don't know. I'm sure that it could be explained a lot better than that, and in more detail than that's.
Well, you can't actually explain it. It's silent. True Tao is silence.
That's a quiet knowing.
Yeah, those who say do not know. It's a trick question. You can't really explain Tao. You can give it a name, but it's a book.
Something very nice to read.
Yes. It's eternal.
What's crazy, it's kind of weird because, like, you know, I feel like it's a little bit threatening, or just kind of, you know, to be a Christian. But I don't know. I mean, it's maybe a good thing to learn, even, you know.
It's not threatening to Christianity. It actually helps explain it, and it helps explain Judaism, because this is like the raw programming, and Jesus basically expanded it. You could say he even used the Tao to troll the Tao.
Okay.
It's philosophy.
Jesus was a great philosopher. If you think about it.
Yeah, he was a mystic. And a lot of American Christians don't know that. They don't realize that Jesus was a mystic. You could say he was a magician. He was a Kabbalist.
But he was a socialist.
What?
Yeah, he was a magician. He was a politician too. He was a politician, but you know why they hung that fish on that wall there? Because it opened its mouth. Jesus made the ultimate taboo statement and said, "I am God." And so they killed him because he trolled the political and the religious establishment.
Yeah, people don't like that.
Can't do that.
No.
You
Don't be thinking outside the box. No.
Can't do that. Okay, this is Tao Te Ching. This is the 45th verse. This is called Illusion and Reality. This is a breathing meditation. Take the deepest breath of the day. Completeness can seem incomplete. Yet the completeness that we achieve can be remarkable. Fullness can seem empty, yet the fullness that we achieve can be very useful. Truth can appear as a lie. Straightness can appear as twisted. Skillfulness can appear as clumsy. Eloquence can sound like foolishness. But the dialectic of yin and yang is not illusory. Activity can overcome cold. tranquility can overcome heat, and peacefulness is the natural seed of a violent world. This is the commentary. We live in a world of illusions, but not all is illusory. Illusory. We live in a world of realities, but not all is real. That which is most illusory is our belief that everything must be either complete or incomplete, full or empty, straight or crooked, skillful or clumsy, eloquent or not. That which is most real is the experience of process, for example, of activity overcoming cold, or of tranquility overcoming heat. In all processes, when one extreme is reached, its opposite is ripe to generate. The most significant potential process of our time is the reestablishment of the great integrity. Why? It is because extreme fragmentation, violence, and cruelty have now become so prevalent. See, Mountain, that's how you read a book. A smart book. And it comes out of China 2,700 years ago, so it's got nothing to do with communism. When I read this book online here, and what's his name, Roger Mayhem was like, "Oh, great book! They only used it to kill 80 million people in China through communism." I was like, see, that's the problem, is you're not reading it.
Robert Mayhem's a dipshit, and you cannot, if he's set in his ways, he'll die on that hill just to be right. It's very frustrating. And if you're challenging, he'll just kick you. You know, he's just kind of a JV. He's kind of a bitch, bro. So.
Yeah.
So.
Well, doesn't see that the part of the thing is this information teaches you not to be judgmental, because if you're judgmental, you're wasting time. You're not personally progressing fast enough. You know, if you're judging people, I mean, it can slow you down.
Yeah. Absolutely. What do you do though? I mean, you can admit Bradler's a bitch, so I mean too. So.
What?
Well, you can admit Rodder's a bitch. I mean, Brad's a bitch too. I mean, come on. I mean,
who cares? Who cares? I'm more concerned with developing my brain in the real world. I'm more concerned with my love life in my immediate proximity. I'm more concerned about my house and the cracks. I'm more concerned about 100 million things other than vulgar, loud, obnoxious people on this app who just scream, "Stop fucking talking over me! Stop! Let that fucking bitch murder the fucking goo! No!" As I was saying. Dude, people are crazy. They're not reading anything, dude. That's why they're not at peace. They're not reading information about peace, tranquility, intelligence. Super intelligence doesn't get angry because super intelligence is superpower. Power never gets angry. Power just transforms and it acts. It does.
Well, shit. Oh, God.
So, dude, imagine if you had a son and you only had 100 100 days to spend with him, you know. One of those days you might say, okay, fine, we're gonna play video games. But maybe the 99 other days you're gonna be like, no, son, we're gonna read the Bible. Because you would have to choose which communication in terms of priority is the most important. And so if you were a responsible, intelligent person, you would just want to engage in the intelligence, which is really like nothing more than saying it's the deity. You know, if there is a God, God is super intelligence. So if you want to approach God, you have to approach intelligence. You have to merge with intelligence. It says that you can harmonize with the earth in the Tao Te Ching. You can harmonize with the universe. It's like magic. It's basically neurolinguistic programming. It changes your attitude. It changes your personality. You're no longer an angry, mean person who's gonna, dude. I saw this guy at the bar last weekend. He wanted to congratulate this guy for fucking this chick in the bar, and the guy was like, "Let me congratulate you." He's like, "Don't fucking congratulate me. Shut your fucking mouth." He's like, "No, I want to congratulate you for fucking that bitch." He's like, "Shut the fuck up. Stop fucking trying to shake my fucking hand and congratulate me. I don't want your fucking fuck you." I was like, whoa, whoa.
Wow.
Fucking fight breaking out. So I pulled out my phone and I put it on YouTube.
People just all fucked up, huh?
It's just go to any room on this app.
Yeah, but you said that was in real life, didn't you?
That was in real life, but how is this app not any different than the real world? In the real world, the only difference is somebody can physically punch you.
Well, in the real world, people don't usually talk like that unless they're looking for an actual fight, We all know that. People get stupid on this app, dude. Just ridiculous.
Okay, I'm going to read you now the 46th verse of the Tao Te Ching. It's called Enough is Enough. Okay, this is the 46th verse of the Tao Te Ching. This is candidate Congressman John Kitover. This is Enough is Enough. When the great integrity permeated our lives, freely galloping horses fertilized the fields. When the great integrity was lost, war horses were bred in the countryside. There is no greater calamity than acquisitiveness racing out of control. Only those who know when enough is enough can ever have enough. Commentary on verse 46, there is no greater loss than that of the great integrity. Since we have exchanged it for the curse of greed, we have inherited all manner of social calamities. Our insatiable desires for possessions and our compensatory psyches, binging to feed our starving egos. We have bred a perverted consciousness to navigate a perverted world, rebirthing our world as a cooperating global village, and rebirthing our consciousness as the great integrity can recreate our awareness of when enough is enough. Only then will we be released from the omnipresent prisons of selfishness in which we have all been trapped during this temporary 5,000-year era of civilizations as we have known them. What I think is interesting about this is I'm reading to you the commentary, but if you read this book without the commentary, it's really like, it's what you think it is. So this is like a universal energy book where you can use it however you want, good or bad. It's up to you to choose, but I think on average it tends toward to be good. But the commentary here, you might not like it because it is rather socialistic. But, socialism is like wanting to take care of your neighborhood or community. I mean, but there's absolutely no connection in communities or neighborhoods. No one knows each other. No one cares about, no one wants to share anything with them. Anyways, this is called Going Beyond. This is the 47th verse. We can understand the world as it is without leaving our home. We can understand the world as it might be without peering dreamily out of our window. The further we go, the less we know. Wise people understand the 10,000 things without going to each one. They know them without having to look at each one, and they transform all without acting on each one. This is the commentary. Since our main problem in life is transcending our inherited pathological institutions and the rationales. This is Congressman John Kitover. This is Enough is Enough. But anyways, dude, I'm telling you, like, try to create videos. Don't play video games. Like, at least if you're playing a video game, well, then live stream your game and publish it. You know what's interesting is if you watch a video of your video game, I've published like hundreds of, you know, modern combat whatever on PS4. When you watch yourself playing the video game, you get the same dopamine response as if it was happening live, as if you were really playing it. And your brain recorded that entire game. And when you watch the game, even like a year later, that memory of that game is still in your fucking brain, and you still produce the same dopamine by watching the video. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's, I don't know, I can start recording it for sure. I don't know, man, I just gotta do it for fun, you know? I mean, it's a good replacement, better than sitting around fucking jerking off, dude. I mean, I work, you know, a full-time job, you know, just lost my dog, so I don't have a dog or a kid, you know? It brings me back to old times, dude. I mean, it's pretty simple, it's cheap, it's not so bad. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, you know?
No, I've spent a lot of time doing it, but I like what I'm doing now with reading and creating these YouTube videos because I think it's making me smarter, and it's definitely improved my love life because women have a way of testing you in the most subtle ways. And if you can just keep your cool and be a lover boy and not get angry over anything, like, it's a much better way to live your life. Not controlling women or not wanting to correct or get annoyed or get angry over anything. That's really what you're working towards too, which is really cultivating and creating a royal-like attitude, becoming a king. You know, in America, if you want to be a king, you can be a king. I mean, meaning that it's all of our right. We took that right from the king and made it personal. So I'm just saying, do you want to be the guy sitting at home on a Saturday night playing video games in the dark, or do you want to be the guy out on a Saturday night playing music or entertaining or, you know, doing communication? I mean, life is short. You only have so many opportunities and so many Saturday nights, and so, you know.
I understand. It's not every day, dude. I'm not doing it every day. I mean, but you can have entertainment too, harmless entertainment. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
I'm just telling you, so much of your future depends on what you're producing in your brain, because it's not manifestation. It's actually just like dialectic therapy. And you can get a doctorate in philosophy if you read the fucking books, you know, and you could kill two birds with one stone and create videos and just reference your videos. This is all like simulation training.
Yeah, it's all what you want to do in life, bro. I mean, it's right now I'm kind of pacing myself because I'm working towards the goal myself. So, I mean, it's better than going out and being destructive or getting drunk and killing fucking random women. I'm tired of that, bro. I don't want to do that right now. I mean,
Well, I'm just saying, a woman, a beautiful woman is a hell of a lot more fun than playing Call of Duty. Anyways, we have another caller or another speaker here on X. We have John. I'm John as well. And this is Tao Wisdom, where we've been reading Tao Te Ching, and I'm talking to my friend Mountain on Clown House. Welcome to the show, John. Is there anything you want to say, John?
No, it's nice to meet you. I heard you in a space the other day talking about basic marketing for your campaign. Mm-hmm. 2026. I don't really know much about you, so I was just curious to learn.
Yeah, I can't really hear you that well, but I'm running for Congress in Illinois in the 16th district against Darren LaHood, Rockford, Peoria, Bloomington, and I create a lot of videos. I got over 50,000 videos on YouTube of reading philosophy books, debating people, pulling my hair out with my hairless head, screaming at people who are just wasting their time here on the internet. picking their feet in Poughkeepsie. That's a quote, Gene Hackman quote. Anyways, this is really like a meditation. I spend a lot of time on the internet, probably 2 hours a day meditating. And when I say meditating, it's like technically the book club. So I read books for about 2 hours a day on YouTube and create 3-minute clips. I call that intelligent work. And the interesting thing about Taoism or philosophy is you can get a lot done by not doing it, meaning that most of the things you think you have to do are actually just totally useless. A lot of the thoughts you have, a lot of the things you say are just useless. Somebody texted me. Oh no, Donald Trump has endorsed Darren Lloyd. Oh no. Oh my gosh.
What happened?
Donald Trump endorsed Darren LaHood against me.
Oh, really? Well, does he know who you are?
This is what Trump wrote. I can't fucking believe this. Congressman Darren LaHood is a tremendous champion for Illinois' 16th Congressional District. As a member of the powerful House Ways and Means Committee, Darren understands the America First policies required to create great jobs, cut taxes, regulations, advance American energy dominance, promote Made in America, and champion our nation's golden age. He's fighting tirelessly to keep our now very secure borders secure, stop migrant crime, strengthen our brave military veterans, and defend our always under siege Second Amendment. Darren LaHood has my complete and total endorsement for re-election. He will never let you down. Wow.
I mean, are you devastated?
No, I mean that's awesome for me because now I can create content discussing that. I'm not going to attack Trump, but I'm just going to say, dear Mr. President, I think you are wrong.
If you do, I swear to God, I swear to this kid, that's off
I bet you this is pretty funny.
What?
I got this text from some random person. I don't know who it was.
Will they threaten you?
No, they sent me the screenshot from Trump's endorsement on his X account.
Oh.
This came out October 25th at 8 a.m. Holy shit. So, John, where do you live? Anything else you want to say, John?
Well, I live in the Midwest. Pretty close to Illinois, but not in Illinois. I don't want to say the specific state. But yeah, I mean, I'm a young guy. I actually studied philosophy for a little bit. I took several courses and have done a decent amount of, just a little bit of reading on my own. But I'm probably going to switch majors and not major in it, although I really enjoyed it. That said, I'm curious, like, can I hear a little bit more about your policy? Like, what do you want the 16th District of Illinois at a local level to look like, and then maybe extrapolate from there?
I would just kind of invert your question and say I'm not going to answer your question with regards to what I want to change or do for on the ground voters in the 16th district. I hear a lot of Congress people in their political pitches to constituents, voters, and other politically interested people. They try to say, I'm going to work so hard for all the constituents and voters in my district. If they're not putting out messaging and communication, educating their voters and their constituents about the grander federal national problems, not just the problems in their district, but the problems that the entire country is facing as a whole, well, then they're just miscommunicating, misdirecting, misinforming. So I hope you understand that response. Does that make sense to you? I mean, this is a Tao philosophy room. Taoism deals with antithesis, thesis and synthesis. So I hope that is informative for you. But obviously, I can answer your question, but I just hope you understand that there's a much bigger financial crisis that the United States has plunged itself into in a way which is just so unbelievable and so catastrophic, and it has happened so quickly. We basically got robbed. The United States of America has been robbed. The Treasury has been looted through databases. It didn't get raided and looted. It got expanded and looted. So we are lying to ourselves, but the whole world is essentially pulling the same scam. So I just want people to understand the scam or the skim. And who I'm running against, Darren LaHood, he's essentially skimming. He's got over 10 million in his campaign account from Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Caterpillar, Comcast, ComEd, AT&T, Verizon, AstraZeneca, GlaxoSmithKline, Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, and 100 other corporations. So he just came out the other day and he said, I'm very hesitant on RFK's stance on Tylenol. I'm hesitant. What is he saying? Like, ladies, it's okay to keep taking Tylenol when you're pregnant? I mean, the guy is just a big pharma shill. So I hope that helps address, because it's not just about making the material world better for the voters, it's about making the intellectual, even psychological world better, because America is supposed to preserve and enhance liberty. Unfortunately, we have done the exact opposite. Everybody is essentially frustrated in this country over the entire situation, which is essentially taxation. You're taxed from top to bottom, left to right, forward and behind. And with the country in $37 trillion in debt, we have no choice but to force people into compliance in order just to pay the deficit, the interest on the deficit, or interest on the national debt. So as a young person, you should be hyper involved in politics, because politics will control, politics does control and will always control your situation. And the situation is debt and taxes. That horrible cliche, death and taxes. That's really what hopefully the best leaders can address is death and taxes. Those are the two ultimatums, maximums.
Yeah, that was interesting. I really like that. I'm somewhat familiar with, credit creation, banking, quantitative easing. I've never really took a class on economics, but I've heard people speak about it, and I know that, the COVID, of course, only, increased our national debt, of course, and all this has to do with inflation as well. I agree with you. I mean, that's a really good thing to say, educating the voters as opposed to doing what Democrats do, just throwing incentives at them. Here's subsidies here or something. Here's benefits there. Here's a playground in your neighborhood for your kids at a more local level. But yeah, no, I like that. I can tell you're very educated.
Yeah, anybody who is just aware of the Federal Reserve, Congress, HR Acts, USDebtClock.org, Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, a lot of Americans throughout the history of this country have been criticizing the banking industrial complex, banking cartels, obviously taxes, and how the Federal Reserve just creates artificial non-gold backed, debt instruments. So I don't know. I'm not in that club. If I could snap my fingers and be like, oh, I'm making $14 million this year working as a vice president at Goldman Sachs, I would take that, I would take that. But, this is the opposite of that. My campaign is based on the opposite of that paradigm. So, but really, this is a book club, John. I just read books, and I think it's making me smarter. It's helping with my campaign. Okay, so we're gonna read the 48th verse from the Tao Te Ching. This is called All is Done Without Doing. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold it for 10 seconds. To obtain a diploma requires the storage of trivia. To obtain the great integrity requires their abandonment. The more we are released from vested fragments of knowledge, the less we are compelled to take vested actions until all is done without doing. When the ego interferes in the rhythms of process, there is so much doing, but nothing is done. This is the commentary. Is Lao Tzu stuck in a literary mannerism involving paradox? Or is there a deep insight into the concept of all is done without doing? A repeated premise in many of these 81 verses. What Lao Tzu means by doing is acting against the rhythms of natural processes and against the pretended natural inertia and laziness of human beings to make something happen. That means that doing implies actions impelled by interference, force, and coercion. Such actions are always in opposition to natural processes and usually in violation of human needs and well-being. What Lao Tzu means by getting done is to flow with and facilitate natural processes. Never violate the needs and harmony of human beings in the process of producing the needs of the community. Getting done is always cooperating with nature and with other people. Doing is always a violation of nature and the exploitation of other people. Therefore, what he means by all is done without doing is that everything is accomplished without coercion. What Lao Tzu is always concerned with is the reestablishment of the great integrity. For him, the great integrity is the return to intuition and the merging of self and non-self. For us, having evolved to a different stage of evolution, we don't want to throw away our hundreds of years of scientific experience. For us, our return to the great integrity means an integrity at a much higher level than Lao Tzu could imagine. Our great integrity is to integrate our now advanced scientific left brain with our intuitive artistic right brain. For us, returning to the great integrity is to end our schizoid patterns of acting and thinking by establishing a planetary community in which cooperation replaces competition, war between countries becomes an anachronism because there will be no separate countries, and where all the fragmentations and coercive acts of the past will be exchanged for a great integrity beyond the wildest dreams of Lao Tzu. Okay, this is called Wisdom, the next one. Wise people are not absorbed in their own needs. They take the needs of all people as their own. That's the first part. To obtain a diploma requires the storage. Okay, Mountain. Anything else you want to say? How's the video game life coming along?
Going pretty good, man. I'm just hanging out. What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm just sitting here reading books, bro.
Oh yeah, that's going pretty good.
Dude, you're lucky because you got the best of both worlds now.
Is to be the waterway of the world.
You don't have to read these books. All you can do is play the games and listen to the super wisdom. So you're very lucky.
Yeah, it feels pretty good, man. Appreciate it. listen to this shit though for sure.
Oh, do you want the audiobook link? I'll just give you the link. You can listen to it. It's about an hour long.
Yeah, I think I found it yesterday actually, exactly what you were listening to.
It's very positive neurolinguistic programming.
Yeah, I was listening to it. It's pretty good, actually. It was pretty good. So.
Okay, I pinned it to
You know
the top. Click it and just save that. I pinned it to the room. Click it and just save the video or whatever.
Okay.
Save the bookmark. But listen to it at least once. I mean, listen to it twice. Really listen. Try to listen with comprehension because it's so deep and mystical.
That's the book that I found yesterday. Yeah, I can do that shit for sure, dude.
Yeah, see how it changes your life. I think it's a magical book.
Yeah.
It's one of the oldest books in the world, and it's been translated more than any other book, other than the Bible. So it's definitely the Chinese Bible, dude.
Yeah.
It deals with quantum physics. It's pre-Einstein. And it's this book. It predates modern quantum physics. It's discussing string theory.
Yeah.
It's talking about the one, which is essentially the belief that everything is completely connected, even in the space between the things. So there's a belief that there's one consciousness that permeates the whole universe. You could say that the Earth is most likely alive, and we're just like ants on it. But we have the opportunity to harmonize with the intelligence of the universe. And this book is a way to essentially harmonize with it. It's a vibration. Positive vibration.
Yeah.
Only way to make a girl come is to vibrate her. And supposedly the universe is a woman. Yeah. Well, that's my show. I call it the Self-Actualization Comedy Show. Ba-dum-bum. Don't quit your day job, candidate.
Alright, man. Well, I'm gonna jump around and see what other people are doing and see if anybody's talking about anything of value, but it probably won't last long, so.
Well, no matter where you go, the Tao will be with you now.
Alright, man. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, this is John for Congressman. Thanks, everybody. like the raw programming, and Jesus basically expanded it. You could say he even used the Tao to troll the Tao.
Okay.
It's philosophy.
Jesus was a great philosopher. If you think about it.
Yeah, he was a mystic. And a lot of American Christians don't know that. They don't realize that Jesus was a mystic. You could say he was a magician. He was a colonist.
He was a socialist.
What?
No, he was a magician. He was a politician too. He was a politician, but you know why they hung that fish on that wall there? Because it opened its mouth. Jesus made the ultimate taboo statement and said, "I am God." And so they killed him because he trolled the political and the religious establishment.
Yeah, people don't like that.
Can't do that.
Spent on your car. So like that, which strikes me as just like, I don't know. I think we've lost something because when you see an old Corvette, like a 70s or an 80s Corvette drive by, you immediately know what it is as soon as you glance at it, right? When you see a Tesla, right, you immediately know what it is. Immediately, as soon as you look at it, it's like, okay, boom, I know what that is. When you see a Lucid, if you know what a fucking Lucid actually is, like you immediately know what it is. So one of my hopes was that with like electrical drivetrains, you'd be able to get like slightly cooler designs because they don't have to think about the efficiency standards as much. I think Hyundai did a proposed like retro, really boxy 80s electric sedan. Like so very boxy, like very 1980s style displays. But the whole thing was electrically powered, just totally retro, fantastic. And like, okay, cool. Like you could do that and have an electric powertrain on it, and you wouldn't have to worry about the efficiency piece. And so you could get creative again with the way the car actually looks, and so it could be more of a expression of your personality. But I think most of the car market is just so atrocious with electric stuff that we're like they can't get creative yet because they still haven't figured out how to profitably build and sell an electric car.
I like that you are probably the only other person I've ever heard with this kind of accent actually pronounce the Y in Hyundai. Like, for some reason, every other American just goes Hyundai, and I'm like, what?
It's Hyundai.
There's a Y there. What are you doing, America?
Nuclear.
Just another one of the long list of things that Americans say, and I'm just like, why? Why do you say it like that?
I think the commercials say Hyundai.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I think the Hyundai, like someone says Hyundai and they assume they're ordering dinner at a Japanese restaurant or something. They're Korean, right, Hyundai?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think they're like cool. Like I didn't realize I was ordering noodles if you say Hyundai, but if you go Hyundai, it kind of like rolls off the American tongue a little more easily. So that'll be why.
It was like, oh, this is fine. People will get it. Just Hyundai, it's close enough. It'll make them happy. I bet there was a shift. Like, if you go back and look at old Hyundai commercials, I bet there's a certain point where they're just like, we're never going to beat this. We just have to start using it ourselves.
I'm excited for the Tesla Roadster. I saw a story out the other day. I'm just looking it up again now. Apparently they're doing a demo soon, and that looks shit hot. It looks fucking amazing.
Do you know what the 0 to 60 time is on that?
It's 1 second.
What?
Yeah, I don't think that's confirmed. I think basically the leaked 0 to 60 is 1 second, which is like approaching the limits of what physics can. Physics.
Well, they're always approaching the limits of what physics can do.
Yeah,
so
it's approaching the limits of known applied.
Let's just real quick calculate the g-force of this. 60 miles per hour is 96 kilometers per hour, and to get meters per second, we divide by 3.6. So we're getting
26.6 divided by what is it? 9.81. So 26.66 divided by Earth gravity. We're getting about 2.72 G's on that.
Whatever. So you're not gonna. It's still safe. You know, you're not gonna black out.
Oh yeah, roller coasters are like 5 G's. That's you're fine.
You could do 10 without any issues. It's fine.
No, not 10.
9.5.
You like start fainting inside of your car and it has to turn on the autopilot.
They have a really big budget for tires. That's all.
The car looks. I mean, it looks absolutely fucking sick. It's the sickest looking car I've
So,
ever
sir, which tier of tire subscription will you be getting with this car?
I actually managed. I was reading when I first got my Model 3. I was reading on the web forums and stuff, and some guy was like, "Yeah, I managed to burn out my tires in like 8,000 miles because you just like everywhere you go, you want to just like floor it." And so, I was very ginger and made sure I didn't do that. I actually got 3,000 out of my tires, which I was very proud of. But yeah, I can see a Roadster. Yeah, like if you're ripping around in that thing. Like,
Dude, if you're paying this much money for a car, you have to floor it at every single leg.
Yeah, maybe. I think that's definitely. But the problem is like, how can you do that after lunch? Like, that's my question. Like, will you be able to
build up the tolerance?
You know, build up a like even like a 4 second 0 to 60, like makes me feel like a bit queasy. Like I could see a 1 second just like not. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that not ending well.
Imagine driving next to that dude on the road. You're like merging onto a freeway. He just like parks. You're like, why are you parking? And then he's like, oh, I can't see him anymore. Where did he go?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be fucking nuts seeing those things in the wild. I can't. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I literally cannot wait. It's just. Ugh. Imagine seeing that in real life. Like it's like one second or near.
I saw this hypothetical design of a SpaceX Tesla Roadster. I don't know if they're gonna actually put this in production and like give it to customers. But this one was allegedly like there was some concept video of it. I don't know if that was from Tesla or someone else, but had like basically a thruster on the back. It's like I don't know, you might have seen that before, like 1.1 seconds, 0 to 60. It just
SpaceX package they called it. Yeah, it'll be an add-on.
Yeah. This is why we need to succeed and win in business so we can buy a SpaceX Tesla Roadster.
100%. That is every billable minute that I bill in life. I think to myself that this is one day the Roadster will happen, and I will drive around town like an idiot, going 0 to 30 in half a second or less, and that'll be fun.
Can we get wings with that? Like wings subscription? That'd be cool. Probably it floats for like.
You just like open the side doors and they.
You almost need a special license for it, I think. Because I don't know if I want other people driving at that speed on the road with me.
It'll also have 600 miles of range, apparently, which would be.
I don't believe that. Nope.
You don't think so?
Definitely not.
That was a rumor. So I didn't know.
For a Roadster, no. Mm-mm.
But yeah, imagine just like driving around how peaceful it would be knowing that you could just smoke anybody, anywhere, at any time. That would just be
all of these guys burning dead dinosaurs in their like what do you call it? Like their Lambos, $5 million Bugattis Chiron over there, just like see ya.
Y'all trying to race you shit.
Can we talk about Lambos? Can we talk about Lambos for a second? Like I don't understand them. Like I don't.
Lambos are stupid. Why would you ever do that?
Yeah, I don't get it. Like I've seen
fun.
But like
Lambos are not because people want a Lambo. Lambos are because Instagram told them they like Lambos.
Yeah.
That is the purpose of a Lamborghini, is just to look badass. Its existence is meant to just be dope.
Well, too many people got rich off of crypto and drop shipping, and now it looks bad.
But like, why not? If you're gonna get a Lambo, right? Like the coolest right? So like which is the Countach, right? So like if you're driving around a Lamborghini Countach, that tells me, okay, you have taste, you understand cars, like you understand like the historical significance of it, fine. But if you're driving around the new one, like what's like if you're just saying, okay, I spent $250,000 on something that can get smoked by a Model 3, like well, like what are you trying to say, you know?
I don't know. I wish there were more cars like the one that there was some dude in downtown St. Paul who had this like bright red Fiat Panda. I'm talking like one of the old ass ones. And he took out the back seats and everything, and he put a V12 engine in it. And then that thing, I'm pretty sure has a 0 to 60 time way faster than 1 second. Because I've never seen anything leave that quick. And I've watched drag racers go. That thing was just, you'd be at a stoplight next to it, and then it would just go, bye.
The problem with that, like when you do that when you massively overpower a petrol car, right? Or a gas-powered car, the problem is, so there's a Ford model which does this. It's like this crazy F-150 mod with like a 750 horsepower engine, and it's like totally nuts and blah 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 blah. But the problem is everything else on it is stock, including the transmission, which means that if you accelerate too hard, you're just going to break your transmission in half. Like, so it's one of these things where people do these absurd things to like these vehicles, and they're not built to the appropriate specification. And so as a consequence, they wind up just like, I don't know, they wind up breaking them or just spending a lot of money on maintenance and shit like that. So like, I guess it's good if you're rolling up to a club in Miami, you know, because you made money on NFTs and shitcoins. And you're like, okay, cool. I have nothing else interesting about my personality, so I need to communicate it with this vehicle. For any other, I don't know. Maybe I just haven't made enough money yet, and I haven't been corrupted. But like, I struggle to understand why any person could want to do so. I guess, I don't know. Maybe it's like with expensive watches and stuff. It's just like the status symbol, the idea. They've just had it in their head since they were a little kid that this is what they wanted to have, and when they had the money to do it, they could do it. So like, I'm not gonna fault them. It's not for me.
What was the car Sam Altman was seen, and he had like an expensive supercar.
He had a McLaren. He has a McLaren. Elon, I think, has one too. I think it's a McLaren F1. So he might.
No, Sam doesn't have a McLaren. Sam has a Koenigsegg.
Sorry, you're right. It's a Koenigsegg. Sorry. Yeah, those are ridiculous. So a Koenigsegg, in a straight line, they can do something crazy like 350 miles an hour. They're built entirely of carbon fiber.
See, this is my problem with billionaires. It's like, why would you buy this car that only goes 350 when you could literally just go in, like, you could just have some pilot friend of yours just get you in his fighter jet like once a week, and you just enjoy that, you know? Just get it all at once.
It's about enjoying the drive, though.
I'll enjoy the drive much more in a fighter jet.
That's not a drive.
That's very simple.
Are you allowed to drive this fast in America?
Noah is so upset about that. It's not a drive.
You can do it if you get a closed road. So there are these big desert roads.
Wait, you can take off in a fighter jet on a closed road?
No, you can drive a Koenigsegg at 350 miles an hour on a closed road.
Or just fly to Germany.
Or you could fly to Germany and do it there, I suppose.
I don't think you're gonna find a stretch of Autobahn that's as flat as you think it is to get that quick.
Top Gear did it there was a test track, and they did it there with was it a test track or a road with the Bugatti Veyron? They got one up to North Border.
That was a very, very specific test track that was built specifically to get the Veyron up to its top speed.
Well, we got long autobahns, right? Like from Hamburg City to Berlin, it's basically a straight line. You can just, as fast as you want, baby.
I don't know if you've driven a car at 200 miles per hour, but roads get a lot less flat at that speed.
Alright.
Yeah.
there's a Dutch guy on YouTube who does that. He basically goes and tests absolutely ridiculous like German cars on the autobahn, and then just he drives them around like moseying around. Oh, okay, this is really nice. And then gets on the road, just opens up in like a BMW 8 Series or something, similarly ridiculous. And yeah, you could definitely. Yeah, I don't know if you get up to 350 on the autobahn in a Koenigsegg, but you could definitely get to very unreasonable speed.
Yeah, you definitely get to 200, but I don't think you get to 300. Pretty sure you need a specialized track to pull that off in pretty much any vehicle.
I don't know how you'd have the reaction time at 300 to avoid a collision. You're just moving so fucking quick.
That's the fun part.
That speed, you could cross the state of Connecticut in like 10 minutes. It's a truly like sickening, like unbelievable rate of speed.
I mean, a lot of the roads there are perfect. Really, like you have small, tiny little imperfections, and that would be then the thing where you then, they love those a lot. So it's epic. It's really nice over there. Like it's funny because when I see people complain about like road conditions in Germany, I look at the road and I go, man, if only you could see the roads over here. They have like cracks everywhere. To go over that at high speed, now that's fun. That's I mean, fun is danger, I guess. But that's that. Damn. So yeah, those are good. Those are good places, I think. Yeah. You could get to 300. I'm pretty sure on that. That'll work for you.
I just did the calculation. I needed to calculate. Over 200 is fast. I've moved 160 miles per hour over the autobahn, I think.
That must have felt awesome, huh?
It was awesome. Crazy story. Hitchhiking, right? We used to do this from Hamburg to Berlin just when we were young. A guy from the Fraunhofer Institute, the physicist, he with his company car, and he just pushed and pushed and pushed. I was never this far in Berlin. It's like crazy. He was working on the Happy Free thing, like crazy meeting of minds.
That's insane.
So for Canadians out there, 160 miles per hour is about 260 kilometers per hour.
Yeah.
If you ever looked at the dash on your car, 260 probably isn't there.
Those probably only ever go up to like 80, maybe 90, close to 100. A lot of people are pussies because they don't know how to actually drive.
Yeah.
It's very true, especially when people start going way above normal driving speeds. That's when you figure out that people, it's an entirely different skill set from normal driving. The two do I'm not gonna lie, the going fast part does translate pretty well into everyday driving. If you look at the way I drive and the way my wife drives, like she's never done any high-speed racing or anything like that. So, like the way I stay away from people is completely different from the way she would do it. Just because I've gotten so used to needing more time to react to things because of the increased speed, it permanently adjusts the way you think about driving and the way you approach things. Because suddenly, when you're at a high speed, everything's a potential death threat. And if a car suddenly slows down, yeah, it's across
You
the
actually have to
board.
do a lot more prediction. Like, you have to do a shit ton of prediction. It's like really good math stuff, too. You just like kind of look at everything and go. I've gotten to the point where I look at the make of a car, its age, and the type of license plate it has, and I then assume what kind of driver that's going to be. Like, I've gotten to that point already, because I'm like, well, signals don't work, because they didn't use them here. Because, well, even though it's illegal, they still fucking do it, because they just fucking have these things out, corruption. If you happen to be brown, you can do these things. That's the whole thing here. It's really, really bad. You just have to look at the car and go, okay, this kind of person is that kind of person. This kind of car goes there. I know what this is gonna do. Like, say somebody would drive this like super beat up car. You already know that guy, as soon as he goes around a curve, he's gonna hit the brakes in the curve. The worst place you could ever do it, that's exactly where he's gonna do it. So be ready for that, for instance, right? It's like never, ever, when you're in a curve, hit the brakes because you'll start sliding. They don't know this because they don't even go fast enough. They've never gone fast enough to understand how bad that actually is. And then when they drive on rain, oh boy. I hate driving, like, when there's rain, because everybody turns into a retard. It's just so fucking bad.
It's annoying.
Like, I don't mind the rain.
The first snow of the year. everybody just suddenly forgets how snow worked. They just did it last year, but this year they're like, just slippy sliding all over the place. You're just like, dude, you just did this. What the hell?
I think like driving on snow is like playing Halo Infinite. Driving on snow is like playing Halo Infinite with like a low DPI and then cranking it up all to max. That's like what snow feels like. I was like, hey, let's try this out for a second here. You know, max DPI. I actually played pretty well. And then I was like, okay, I gotta stop this. This is hurting my brain.
25,000 DPI.
And then when I like got back to lower sensitivity, I'm like, oh, okay, this has really fucked with me. Now everything's too slow.
Doubting.
God, why does it take
This is the 42nd verse of the doubting.
Not even that, it was just my accuracy went to shit because I couldn't aim the same way as I did before. Like, not as fast anymore, so it's like, So before my accuracy was really good.
Well, you
then my
made like
accuracy
halfway to where it was.
Yeah.
A couple minutes. Get back to it.
And I tried to flick with like the high DPI, it's like, okay, 5 360s later, what the fuck?
Come on.
Light push to the left, you do a 360 on your mouse. Like, yeah, it's really fast.
Yeah. It's like you happen to sneeze, oh, 1 360.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's an accidental no scope that literally hit nothing. Like what Blythe did with his cannon, I told him to fire this like little shade turret and like spin real fast.
My leg or something.
And it didn't hit shit. You like hit me, you shot I think 1,000 bullets and probably 2 of them hit me.
Yeah, I was just spinning so much rapidly. Yeah.
It was the dumbest fucking weapon. It was the dumbest fucking thing to do. Yeah, it was hilarious. And we were doing this on YouTube too.
Hit shit. It was funny.
I had to do it on YouTube because that turret is fucking useless. And you pick that shit up. Sure, there's infinite damage. Sure, it kills things. But it doesn't kill literally. The only benefit is that it doesn't have cooldown. And that's it. If I'm on a no cooldown.
Yeah. Reload.
Damage? Complete ass.
You have to hit headshots every single shot. Otherwise you don't do any damage, basically.
Yep. I was about to say something about body shots, but I'm not gonna do that.
FYI, everybody, this is Elon Musk. It's his pen account,
He
Adrian
expanded to
Dittman.
Twitch now, so Adrian has a Twitch, real Adrian Dittman. That's the Twitch.
Yep. I decided it was time to put that there as well. There's probably gonna be nothing on it, but it's so funny to have it there. I think it's kind of hilarious to have an additional thing. What happened to Auda? Auda's busy. He's doing things. We all have our tasks.
Rebuilding the British Empire.
Something like that. Do you think that'd be a joke? It ain't.
I hope none of this happens, but
Bro, this is the funniest shit. This algorithm is so donga shit optimized right now. It's just, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I've never, a post like this, 57 likes and 3.5k impressions. Oh, fuck. That is so bad, dude. What happened to your sorting system, bro? Oh.
Yeah, for you, that is not up to standard.
Dude, yeah, you could say that. That is insanely bad. That is wild. I can't believe that is even real what I'm looking at. That's just so bad. And same thing with like streams as well. Stream links are the most deranked whole shit to link aside from YouTube links that you can put on the fucking platform. It gets zero fucking traction. Like, I have a post out there 15 fucking hours ago, and that shit sometimes just sits at 6K, and I'm like, bro, come on. Like, you cannot say that you're prioritizing video live features and then do this shit. Like, you should be boosting that, if anything. And they used to for a while. Used to get a shit ton of impressions off of, like, spaces. Like, just by sitting there. They did it for... How long? They did it for how long? They let it last for 1 or 2 weeks, and that was it. That was finished. It was a fun time. No idea why they tweaked it back again. I know they probably thought, oh, we have our reasons. No, you don't. But what about the impression farming? Who cares? Let them farm impressions. It doesn't mean anything. But then they get monetized. So? There's gonna be so little money, it's not even gonna get paid out. Like, you're gonna get, micro dollars, bro. That shit doesn't even get paid out by Stripe. It has to be accumulated first, and then it gets paid out because it's that fucking little. So I didn't really see the point. Except for dilution, that might be a thing. But you can map that with some clusters and then shut down the obvious platform manipulation. Actually, it would make it easier for you. They have done that before. I know that for a fact. Yeah, I've seen it firsthand. So, you can do it. I don't know why they don't do it. Baffles me, to be honest.
They don't want it. Just reasons.
Like, oh, let's improve this feature, this feature, this feature, that feature. I'm like, so, can you improve this, one massive feature that has been, just been cast off to the wayside? Customer support? Because it doesn't exist. And your systems are automated such that, half of it doesn't even, translate at all. You have to make a post go viral, effectively, micro-viral, on the platform about some problem, and then it gets solved. I'm like, does it have to be a viral incident every single time in order for something to get solved? Really? What about the person who's not as big? Well, what that? Bruh. I think at least our drafts sync now, which is also pretty interesting because a lot of people store stuff in their drafts. So now I just want you to understand that X has fully unencrypted, they can watch all that because it's stored in their servers now. Before it was just kind of stored in this cache thing, and so it was local. But since it's now synced, it's up there. So just thought I'd let everybody know that. I said it last week and the week before, but yeah, don't store anything that's private on there because everybody can read it. With everybody in subjects.
I just wish they would finally merge the chat and DMs properly. This is I can't reach anyone anymore.
Well, they have. But it's just so that when you then use DMs on the XChat thing, they're unencrypted, then the unencrypted send about a minute late. So you have to just use the unencrypted if you want to do unencrypted. People haven't really been moved over to unencrypted fully, and they're still using to encrypt it fully, so they're still using the unencrypted. I think they're going to do that because if you already have ported it over effectively, assuming that they've ported over the massive amounts of history to XChat, then they could just basically rug the unencrypted. And I think they're also working on their encrypted chips. They're probably moving that to the x.com domain as opposed to the Twitter domain, which it has been on right now, at least from what I can see as a user. No internal data here, which also would explain why they want everybody to re-roll their security keys. Because why the fuck would you do that? It makes no sense. There are two reasons for it, and I'd rather prefer the domain reason because the other one sucks for it.
Right now, between the phone and the web, there are 3 different instances of the same connection sometimes.
What? What do you mean by that?
There's the unencrypted chat. Mm-hmm. There's the encrypted chat, and then there's a merged session. And these all exist somehow simultaneously with 2 different buttons, right? Chat and DM. It's all over the place. Some people just never see any messages and things like that.
I had it merged because it was a feature you could enable, and then they unmerged it. And I was like, you know what? I understand that. It's basically what you're seeing, the 3-way thing, because the encrypted DMs you have unencrypted, and the unencrypted have been ported over into the encrypted, so you can see them in the encrypted, but you can also see that they're unencrypted and be able to send from the XChat, which is the encrypted thing, to the unencrypted thing, but it's just you using an additional layer to get to where you want to be, which is the unencrypted. And so that's why it gives you this illusion. In my case, the 2 are separated, where like I see XChat, where it can access both encrypted and unencrypted, and then just the unencrypted chat that is separate. So I can see the illusion of the third, which there isn't one. It's all just one instance. It's two instances. It's the unencrypted and the encrypted, and both unencrypted and encrypted are shown in XChat, and only encrypted is available if you use XChat itself. That's where the illusion of three come into play when it clearly is just two.
100%, but you can see how that is very inconvenient for the user, right?
Well, no, honestly, I'm not talking saying that's odd. It's really bad, but I'm pretty sure that they can port that shit over and just delete unencrypted. At least I hope they would. Here, these are legacy conversations. Everything up now is going to stop being encrypted. Boom, 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 boom. And it's funny because you go into the XChat and you click on media so that you can upload something. It says it doesn't work for unencrypted. You go, oh, okay, fine, fuck it. We'll just switch to the unencrypted. There, I can send it.
Yeah, and audios doesn't work in encrypted yet, right?
I'm not sure. Also, when did they have group calls? I thought it was a whole thing that they were going to try and do that at some point. They did have X calling, so that was cool. They integrated that, which is basically just spaces.
Well, that worked.
Yeah, it's very glitchy. You have to do a whole bunch of things. Basically, like hosting spaces, the same thing. Has also the same bugs, ironically enough, so I assume it is. What doesn't help is that they fired everybody who developed the space thing, so that was bad. Even the guy who used to test the spaces, I knew him. They fired him too. Never bothered to ask why. Should probably ask why. Either they fired him or he left. But I know that they fired their whole spaces team back then, for some reason. It was really interesting. This guy Jules was in there for like years, man. It was crazy. He was actually one of the OGs who like still ended up being there. So, yeah. You were cool. They did things. Then they stopped doing things. Now we don't want it all because these things are delicious. Epic. Let me take that post away.
Yeah, I stop thinking about these things. Like, they can do what they want. I'm gonna be a positive, like, force now, you know. I'm not gonna complain anymore. It is as it is.
I would, out of everybody, I would have more of a reason to complain than a lot of these engagement farmers and shit who are just doing it for, like, the money. I do it for the love of the game. I spend a lot of time on this app. And I think there's anybody who you know that uses the app more than I do. And I can prove that you don't. So it's like, I put a lot of effort into this place, using it, I love it. I've been here since before the payout stuff and worked on it since before the payout stuff, so have done it and continue to do it for the love of the game. When the game don't work, you get to say things, but even then, I don't really complain as much. I'm always the last to complain, so like when I complain, you know it's really bad.
Yeah, I'm always the first to complain. Never goes well, but yeah.
There's gotta be somebody, you know. There always has to be somebody.
I'm like, I can see where this is going, maybe. Wait a minute.
The fuck is
I
this?
don't want to work anymore.
No, I'm gonna be an ex-#1 positivity influencer. Selling my course right now, everything is fine. It's like a choice.
What the fuck? That's insane. Man.
Everything is fine. That's something a lot of people don't. Like, we take that for granted. Life's amazing right now for everyone living right now in comparison to pretty much everyone in human history.
100%, man.
Like, being a human in the BCs just kind of sucked a lot.
Yeah, and then we did a whole bunch of things to get ourselves out of it, and then we did a whole bunch of things that got us closer to where we went away from it as hard as we could, and you know, that's what we're complaining about, basically. I think also at the same time, sure, there's a lot of complaints, a lot of this, a lot of that, but
Speak about it in a very technical
I
sense.
mean, the fact that things were shittier in the past is no excuse for saying, well, things have gotten really good and now they've gotten shitty again. It's like, well, they're still not as shitty as the shittiest point in human history. It's like that should be a warning. The fact that we're returning closer to the point of shittiness than we were at before is things clearly not being fine, you know? I would say there's still things you can do, and it's like, it's alright, you know, there's still awesome things that are around, but we shouldn't delude ourselves into thinking that everything's fine. I think it's quite the opposite. Nothing is fine, and I would say that every day and every future day is potentially shitty until proven otherwise. And sometimes the proven otherwise part is about you making up that proof so you can make it a good day. And that's where the things can be fine part comes in. It's like, yeah, just give up. Just because things are shitty, clearly they are, you know? You gotta make it better. Let's not stop that. But we shouldn't accept that things are like, you know, shitty now and say, well, that's fine. No, it's not. That's my position on the matter.
How are things shitty now is my question. Because people make that claim a lot. I'm always like, how?
Well, in a lot of ways. I mean, for me at least, I have to do a lot of things in order for anything to be nice. You know, I have to put a lot of effort into stuff. I don't get many of the privileges that some other people have. Like, for instance, if you live in America, you have infinitely more privileges than I do. Right here, you know, you got a government that pays out shit even though you don't serve it. I can't rely on any government because, well, kind of cut off from that. I'm an exile in a sense, if you think about it. So I have to work for everything myself, and because there's very little competence where I'm at, I have to do everything myself. So yeah, then of course, you know, since I do all these things myself, I become very competent and very impatient with idiots. And then those idiots, because they think they're entitled to things, tend to want to tear me down. And then I have that shit to deal with on top of everything else. And then to reconcile that in your head, like, if somebody's, this is the thing, right? I'm a wildly positive person, even though I have insanely shitty problems in places you wouldn't even begin to imagine. So, yeah, many of those things I can't even talk about. On top of that,
how many times have you been raped by a warlord this week?
None. How is that relevant?
Well, life's pretty good then, in comparison to most of it, human history. That's what I'm saying.
Who cares about most of human history? We're in a world today, we should make it better. I was like, oh wow, shittiest point in human history. What? That's not an excuse, that is a word of caution. Just that it could get a lot worse doesn't mean that it should be a lot worse.
How would have been better 2,000 years before now? Or like even, how is now worse than 20 years ago?
How is now worse? In so many ways, dude. Money's worth less than it's ever been. You have to work a lot harder to get to the same amount of what you have been able to get back then. Your food is shittier. Your ability to get that food is harder. Costs more.
Not for most of the world.
Most of the world,
Dude,
I don't know.
the U.S. is not most of the world. Like, Europe is way shittier than it was 20 years ago. And like, I lived through it. Like, I know. Like, it was just a totally different environment. So the politics is shittier now than it used to be. The debt is shittier now than it used to be. Like, we're careening at 100 miles an hour towards the cliff, and just because we haven't gotten to the cliff doesn't mean we're a lot closer to it.
What does this metaphorical cliff look like?
It looks like a sovereign debt crisis. Blunt. I mean,
But if we all get sovereign debt crisis simultaneously, then we're all just gonna go, mulligan, 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 mulligan.
Yeah, and have the whole global financial system collapse. Like, it's not. You can't just like mulligan your way out of $70 trillion of sovereign debt that disappears.
Sure you can. Well, you just say you owe that debt in dollars and then make a new currency, and then you're like, okay, here, have the dollars.
Look, I mean, hey, that sounds great. I mean, I guess you can do that, and I hope you have lots of tin food and ammunition.
Well, that is one thing that America does have in spades. We have both of those things covered. We'll be fine.
It's gonna be fine.
They're insinuating a civil war, right?
I don't think it's a civil war.
I think it would be more of a multinational war. Like, China would be like, hey, give us our money, and we'll be like, well, we did.
It's not
It's not worth anything.
It's not even China. It's that, like, most of the treasuries in the world are held by allied governments and foreign banks and the Fed. So like if you delete that, you're just like, oops, like we're not going to be able to make interest payments on that anymore, and all of that's worthless, and you're never getting paid back. Like the whole Western world will collapse, like the whole thing.
That's okay. It'll shake things up. It'll be the reset we need, but our best hope is to do better than now, which I don't think will be hard to pull off.
My hope is that like AI will increase productivity to such an insane degree that it won't matter because the economics of the 20th century in which the debt was racked up won't matter anymore. So if we've totally, which is a possibility, like that we're gonna have completely like. I was seeing Grok argue with Will Stancil.
Oh god.
He had like Will Stancel's this like super lib on X, and he had like a 7-hour argument with Grok and lost, which is pretty amazing to see. And like in full public view, and like there's been a meme going around him and all kinds of other things. Because someone made a very compelling cartoon about him, and there's also a
It do be like that, Mr. Stancil.
It do be like that, yeah. Well, Mr. Stancil. So, and like the memes that are being made, it was all done. The song was being done on Sora, and it was a total fucking banger, like absolute banger. It's like I've been listening to it for the last 24 hours, and what else is there? And like Grok like made fun of him by using the meme. It's like it do be like that sometimes. And I was just saying to like, oh my god, like posters are gonna be put fucking out of business. Like we're done. Like the AI is getting funnier than we are, and more and more biting than we are. And,
I disagree because the poster made the content. The poster is the one who told the AI to visualize the content. The poster is also the only reason why the AI is actually good. Because there's a thing at XAI, it's called a meme tutor, basically. And you can work there to describe memes, because the AI doesn't know shit and won't be able to do shit unless the human pushes a button, because it doesn't exist. It's a fucking set of math functions and weights in a vector space. It's a fucking useless machine unless the human is at the helm of it. It's just like governments. Governments are shitty because of the incompetence that leads it.
Interesting. Did not know that.
Yeah. That's why they have a thing that's called the human data team. They're the ones who are actually like optimizing it. We're tutoring the system just again and again and again and again and again. It's all just humans.
X has a bunch of people who deliberately seek out the dankest memes and explain the context of the dank memes to Grok, and Grok's like, it do be like that.
Yeah, exactly. They literally 9 people on X is literally their job at XAI to describe memes. And they have people that describe video games and that train the system to play those games at some point.
That's so cool. That's the
whole thing they're doing. It's a big thing. Just look at the job listings. You don't need to say, oh, I need inside information to know what the hell's going on. Just look at the job listings. Yeah, just read those.
You can't remote work if you're in Illinois. That's annoying.
Well, you can't really remote work in a company like that. Basically like an internal startup. You gotta be on site and you gotta be ready to live in a tent.
They offer remote work for everyone except for people in Illinois and Wyoming.
Hey James, he's one of the human data team people. I see you came up probably because of the context.
Note, blah.
So
Yeah, it's been a while since I was able to
I didn't
join the conversation. It's been a crazy couple months, but yeah, I just heard you guys were talking about human data team.
It used to be like this whole affiliate network for just like I think 3 weeks, was it? Everybody thought it was done.
I think the problem was everyone that had that, people started getting a bunch of like DMs for asking, information and stuff, and I think it put a target on everyone on the team. And so it became kind of an issue, so they just took it all. They got rid of it. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
I did kind of get annoying, all the DMs I would get from people just like asking about like stuff that obviously I can't talk about.
I figured that because I saw that they were like doing the whole affiliate thing. I was like, man, you just revealed everybody who works at your shit. You like told them their social media handles for it. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, no that wasn't even everyone. It was just people who opted in, who wanted to, and yeah. But oh well.
That strange ability to just turn DMs off is underutilized as fuck.
I don't think I have enough followers to have issues with too many DMs, and so that was like my first real time having to like turn them off for a little while.
Yeah, I just have all verified on because normally, like, the amounts of bullshit comes in through the unverified, but I only have verified on if it'll, and that goes into a request box. So, like, you don't even get access to the DMs unless, of course, you subscribe. Then I will probably be able to see your message because, you know, it just comes through. And if your message seems to be like high signal, then it's like up at the top and I can see it. But if not, then yeah. And if you spam me, I will block you. I don't care about it. Like, it's $1. You don't get to fucking spam my ass for $1. That's not how it works. There's no legal binding agreement. I can just block your ass. That's how I deal with the DM shit. Because, you know, and I like attract a big amount of attention, so things get a little difficult.
I noticed you have a Rebellionaire affiliate now. Are you?
It's been like that for.
How long have you been part of Rebellionaire?
It's been like that since like fucking early 2024. But I had this for like years now.
Oh shit! I never noticed.
Yeah, it's just a thing. Like
I watch those guys a lot on YouTube. Great content, great channel.
At the time I was like covering Tesla content a lot, and bro just said, "Hey, you want the badge?" I'm like, "Sure." I have my own system now. Like you see the little triangle badge that's on top of Bliza's profile there. So the thing at the top. That's like my company.
Order.
No, that's not Noetic Order. That one's actually a consulting company, and then Noetic Order is also affiliated, which then turns out into an Orbit Council. Like, yeah. I'm the definition of super user on X.
I didn't realize you were a consultant as well. I just had my first consulting client last week. I've been trying to get into consulting people into how to incorporate AI into their work or into their life, and I just realized like because I'm so in it that I thought everyone knows what's going on, but there's so many normies that know nothing about AI and they're not using it, and there's so many ways they can make their work so much more efficient, and they can get their work done so much faster if they just did like the simplest things. And so I basically just met up with this guy and helped him set up his computer with a bunch of different. Well, first he just showed me his workflow, and I just showed him like a few things that he could do to make it way faster. And then I got a text this morning, and he was just like, "Dude, this is so much better now. It's so much faster for me to do the stuff that I was trying to do." Like he was cutting and pasting between like ChatGPT into like his other programs. I was like, "Dude, this is the worst way to do it." But like most people don't realize like what's out there. That's if they're not following AI stuff like we do.
With a gentle press, streams of golden oil start to flow out. Just watching this, doesn't it feel strangely satisfying? This method is called traditional oil pressing, an ancient technique that's still used today. Whether it's peanut oil, corn oil, soybean oil, or sesame oil, the process is almost the same. First, the raw seeds are roasted.
We've done that for a bit of people now. It's pretty nice. That's also really good because like we basically take all these like freelancers and shit, and then we just accumulate all of the tasks, and then they can take on the job as they want and be able to just solve the problem, and then they get like 75 or 80% of the money generated from that, which is like the opposite of how normal big companies do it. Like the exact opposite.
Are you hiring anything? Is it remote stuff or?
Pretty much remote. You can be anywhere in the world, just be available and be able to solve the problem.
That's exactly like pretty much how my brain works.
Yeah.
I'm an optimizer. I like to, but also I'm really good at fixing a lot of things. The trouble is it's being like a kind of a generalist in a lot of the things. It's hard to like sell myself in something specifically. So I focus mostly right now on consulting AI stuff, but Because I was just trying to choose a niche to be like, this is what I do.
I think the AI consulting stuff makes a lot of sense because there's a lot of attention on it now, so you should probably keep doing that.
Yeah, that's what I
do that for as long as you can. There's a lot of revenue that can be extracted out of that for the time period.
I think so.
Everybody keeps talking about giant bubble. No, I'd say that.
If you ever have any job openings, send me a DM.
Okay. Yeah, we'll look at things. We'd have to like advertise the fact that like, I just need to know your capabilities, and then we can be like, hey, we can advertise that we have these capabilities because we're actually more of a services company than we're an actual consultancy company. We can actually consult and do things at the same time, which is why we're also going to turn that into Services LLC. So that's going to be the whole thing.
All right. Well, I don't want to take over the conversation with my whole thing, but maybe in DMs.
Did you still work on XAI, or did you exit that?
My end date is coming up at the end of November. So I'm moving on. So I'm going to focus on consulting and.
We had a good Shabbos.
Bono Shalom!
Also.
How was your Shabbos?
A lot of
who's watching?
Fire right now.
Where are you watching the time?
Yeah, things have kind of like.
Hey, Alexander. Who's watching and where are you watching from?
It gets kind of boring doing the same
Boy,
thing.
bueno, in Chicago.
California. Hi, Shana and Rabbi. Love from California.
It's been like almost 2 years now, and I think that's usually the time where like I need to do something else.
Shana was telling me that she wants to be an actress.
Especially if it's like
so I said,
work all the time.
She said,
I like to
Orthodox girls be an actress. And I said,
change it up after a while.
Maybe.
So
I said, but we can make our own videos.
Yeah.
So we started a new series. I didn't post it on YouTube. I posted it on Instagram on the stories. And she did a skit
see the Halo
about the story of Noah.
Yes, of course.
And she's very funny. So if you want to see it,
Have you ever played the campaign, James?
Instagram.
Oh, 100%. That was like one of
Read the Torah!
What about the Infinite? Did you do that one yet?
Yeah. When it first came out, my buddies that I played Halo 1 with, we beat it on Legendary, like in the first, I think we did it in like the first, it was 2 nights we played when it first came out, like when you could do co-op online. Yeah.
Did the same thing.
It's funny, it's one of those games,
4 hours.
it's one of the few games that like, we have kids, so it's kind of tricky. But we realized it was so funny. It didn't originally come out with like split screen. It came out a little bit later with split screen. There's like no games today that have like split screen co-op anymore. It's like
because it doesn't make sense. Everything's like it's easier to do online. Like everybody's not that machine. And who's like actually going to go over to another dude's house? That's a whole ordeal. Like going over to another dude's house today is something else now. Like, that's taken on a totally different meaning. Like I recently had somebody over at my house that I know, and it's like the first time that has actually ever happened, and it was a very interesting experience. Like it's totally different. Before it'd be like, oh, let me just go to somebody's house because that was the best way to communicate with someone because all other methods were expensive as shit. And so now it's like it's the other way around. It's more expensive to actually go physically visit a person than it is to like talk to them. Like even here, like you're on the other end of the planet for me, and we're just talking here. This is crazy.
Like we used to do LAN parties back, like the Halo 1, Halo 2, I guess at that point, because they didn't do multiplayer in Halo 1. But or was it Halo 3 or 2 or 3? I can't remember where they started to do the. So it was Halo 2. We would bring 4 gigantic TVs and 4 Xboxes, and we'd have a network switch, and we'd be all playing. And we'd run like 100-foot Ethernet cable so we could have the TVs all throughout different parts of the house so you couldn't see the other team's screens and stuff. And it was like a whole thing. It was awesome. We'd stay up all night playing a shit ton of Halo, eating a bunch of pizza, and then now it's like everyone's just in their own house playing online with their own screen. It's just like I mean, it makes sense because we can do it now. And it gives you, and now you can play more times instead of having just that special time where everyone can get together. But I don't know. It's like something was kind of lost in enabling everyone to just play online.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's like something was kind of lost in enabling everyone to just play online. I don't know. It's like something was kind of lost in enabling everyone to just play online. I don't know. It's like something was kind of lost in enabling everyone to just play online. I don't know. It's like something was kind of lost in enabling everyone to just play online.
good memories of couch co-op, like N64, gaming with the bros, playing Smash Bros or something like that.
Yeah, I would have loved the early Halo.
Or something like that.
I would have loved the early Halo days if I would have lived. If I would have lived that long.
To do it online and do it.
Early Halo days, I was working at GameStop, and so I worked at GameStop. When we did the release of, I remember the release of Halo 2 was so epic. Like we opened the store at midnight for like the line of people waiting outside to buy the game at midnight, and then we had like people just like hang out playing, and we'd have tournaments. My neighbor at the time, like he ended up winning the tournament in my hometown, and so he was like crowned like the best Halo player in where I grew up. And it was like, do they even do that these days? Probably not.
No.
Now it's like
It's all just hyper official and shit.
Play on Twitch or something. You're a streamer, I guess. If you're, I don't know. That's cool, I guess. I mean, it's cool that you can sort of being a gamer can be like a profession now. That wasn't even a possibility back then.
Yeah, you're the guy with all the autism. You get to like beat the simulation faster than everybody else. Congratulations, you're the one.
What's everything now?
Literally how it is. It's like literally how it is. I'm not even saying that that's a bad thing. I think it's awesome.
It's interesting they're remaking Halo 1 again because they already remade it once, right?
Yep.
And I feel like it wasn't as good when they remade it the first time. So maybe this time's better. I don't know. Like I always thought there was something off on the remake, and then I at some point someone had made a YouTube video comparing it, like really detailed comparison video, and I was like, oh yeah, he's right. That's why it felt off. Like so many of the levels were just like the mood was off. Like it wasn't dark enough, and like they took too many liberties with the design, and it wasn't even like the same game necessarily. Like it was the same game in that they like copied the story, but like they didn't quite nail the essence of Halo 1. So hopefully, I don't know. I mean, the trailer looked pretty good, but I mean, I'm probably gonna play it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I loved Halo 1, so I'm definitely gonna play it.
Oh wow, I think Black Twitter has found my post. Sorry, I'm totally off topic. I mean, one of those. I always do this thing, like when I'm like listening to people talk, I just look at my notifications, and I don't do it for like reasons that people would think. It's like I want to map the audience by the profile pictures so that I can get the vibe. Like I train it a little differently. It's like I look at people's profile pictures and I kind of assume their vibe, and it's worked out quite well. Like people have very specific types of profile pictures. I can already see like whether or not you're mentally challenged. It's really interesting. Surprisingly, the most mentally challenged are the ones with like the really badly generated like AI images. You know, the ones that have lots of Cosmos shit in them. Those are the worst. Like way too much Cosmos shit. It's like the old. Remember, like when DALL-E, like when DALL-E came out, the updated. What was it? They were using DALL-E 3, I think, weren't they? It was like with Google or like Microsoft. I forget what they were doing. It was like this shit, this kind of stuff. They like haven't changed it in a while. Just put it on boom. It's like, bro, if you want to make a profile picture, use Midjourney.
Use a real AI image generator.
Right. Yeah, use Midjourney for that, bro. That's like how I created mine. Like that one right there is just basically me. It's like when people dox me, it's like, oh wow, holy shit, this guy is exactly who he said he was, and his profile picture looks pretty much exactly like him. Where's the deception? I thought it was always funny. I thought that news article was hilarious. Like the two images. That, and then like the what I like to call the lesser version, because at the time I was playing like a shit ton of Diablo, so I could get to top 10 global. And so I didn't go outside, didn't eat much. I just sat in front of the computer and gamed. I fucking hated every second of it.
So this is Adrian Dittman, aka Elon
Mine's
Musk.
gonna test he was there.
It was brutal, yeah. Brutal. The grindiness.
The thing is, like, if you wanted to ever get to top 10 global in anything game related, hire a team. You're not gonna do it on your own. It's gonna ruin you, man. Just hire a team. And if you can't do that, then you probably should ask yourselves, how are you able to
I'm recording.
sit in front of a computer 8 hours a day playing a video game? could you perhaps turn that into something that makes you money? And then you'll actually end up with the answer to, hey, can I hire? Or can you not? It's like, and then the answer will likely be yes. And if it's not yes, it means you don't care anymore. Well, guess what? You just solved your life problems. So proud of it.
He solved his life problems by hiring people to play the video game for him.
Think of, to be honest.
How's that?
I don't know. Getting other people to play the game for you is kind of against the point.
Oh, really?
As far as I'm concerned, yeah.
I like having fun by enjoying the game at its peak. Like, I can play the game, and I know how to play it, but at the same time, I have this issue. It's called employment, and so I have to solve that problem because I need the resources to sustain what I'm doing. And if I can't sustain what I'm doing, I'm gonna have to share life, blah, 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 etc. Alright, so the real game is life, and everything else is a meta game you put on top of it, which is why you have like simulations with less scarcity in them because the energy functions differently. And then you go, this is how I have fun now. Like, there's full damage in real life. We're gonna play a thing without full damage. It's like that's fun to me now. That's why I like playing Halo all the time. You know, technically there's no point to it anymore. Like, I've played the multiplayer, leveled everything out. I've played campaign, just did everything on the absolute max difficulty. Legendary, all scales on, everything. Solo and duo. There is nothing left. I didn't tell anybody else to do that, I did it myself. So like, I think the peak gamer sentiment is realizing that you can use life as a way to play the game more efficiently. And hey, look, I'm the one who sits with a computer that costs a bunch of money to get. I couldn't be able to get that computer if I didn't do the work that allowed me to get the money to get that computer so I could play the game better. Like, you gotta run your simulations better, more effectively. You need resources for that. To get resources, you need to play the life game first, and then you can get everything else. It's easier, faster, and better. That's the whole point. The point of gaming is to win.
I thought it was to have fun.
Yeah, by winning.
There's two different types of gamers. The ones that just play to have fun and the ones that want to get,
I have fun playing the game when I succeed. Because I don't care for a process. I'm not a process person. I'm a results person. Process I don't give a shit about. I like the results part. That's what I'm about. Like exercise, for instance. You do it because it feels good to do it. Although at the end it kind of does. And you do that because it gives you results. Firstly, it gives you the result that you feel like you feel very good after you did your overload exercise. You know, you have this rush going through you. And then you feel a little bit of pain for 2-3 days. And then you do it again. And then on top of this amazing feeling that you get that your body normally wouldn't give off, you know, have bigger muscles, and you're stronger, and you can do things, and you're faster, and you're better, and everything. That's awesome. There's no greater thing than being able to level up your real life character. Because with that you can do everything. And you're wherever you are.
To me it feels like every single thing you accomplish in the game gets an asterisk. Because it's not just your accomplishment anymore.
So? What's the point? Doesn't matter. You win. You get results.
Yeah. Just not the results I would like, I guess.
Yeah. Oh well, doesn't. It's two different people. I fucking hated every second of it.
So this is Adrian Dittman, aka Elon
I was
Musk.
gonna test you was there.
It was brutal, yeah.
So I will always be wired to that. I fucking hated every second of it. Things, and then turn those into simulation things. I will rearrange the world so that I can play the sim more, because I love playing the sim. So that's all that I need to do, is just grind for the sim. I fucking hated every second of it. Delicious. Like, for instance, I can have a whole ass watermelon. That's awesome. And I get to eat that whole watermelon. A lot of people can't eat a whole watermelon. Not just because they don't have the capacity to do so. I fucking hated every second of it.
People can't buy a watermelon?
A whole ass watermelon just for the fun of it? And you eat it?
Either like
on top of
$6.
Yeah, some people run a little short. Depends also where you live, how good they taste. I fucking hated every second of it. Because some people don't want to eat slop. You know, your life becomes a little difficult once you start considering all those factors. Like, hey, I don't want to eat the watermelon that's farmed with all the glyphosate being put on top of it, because I ate that, or whatever else they're using to keep away the pests, weeds, etc. You go, oh, what do we do?
Why don't you like those? Yeah, so do arsenic and everything else with all the organic places used.
At higher doses, but the glyphosate over time accumulates and kills you that way.
Yeah, but the organics can accumulate more and kill you faster.
No.
That's pretty consistent across all organic farming. It's one of the funniest things about the industry.
What exactly accumulates?
Arsenic, cyanide, there's also a whole bunch of organic things that ride into them. There's a niacin increaser that sneaks in there all the time as well. All sorts of fun shit. It's why in rural Illinois the organic farmers are called merchants of death by some farmers, which I think is a bit over dramatic, but I find it funny, so I'll allow it.
And the arsenic comes from where exactly? Because there are different, not all organics are created the same, by the way.
It comes from the arsenic that they put on the plants.
Right, and not everybody does that. The ones that do that.
Most of them do.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you have to look very specifically. That's why with the upscale of, hey, you need better food, it becomes a lot more expensive because there are very few people that do the thing that you want them to do so that you can eat the thing that you want to eat without incurring other negative side effects that are just as bad as the ones from the, hey, we are trying to avoid the side effects of food.
I'm just fine with the commercial stuff. It's fine. It's not going to hurt me.
True.
You know me, I just generically don't really give much of a fuck.
Yeah.
Does it provide calories? If yes, I'm fine with it.
Is this the plan?
Yeah. Well, with me is I can't afford that. Afford that in terms of the damage it will do. So it's not the same. I just like to micro-optimize everything and it just works better. I have a consistent system of can I wake up at a reliable period of time, no matter how much I've slept, and still be functional within an exceptional degree of accuracy? If the answer is yes, then I will do whatever it takes. And can I continue to do that over long periods of time without incurring any negative side effects? If yes, then you will do whatever that is.
Okay.
So you could be taken out just by generic pesticides?
Not particularly, but they do make your life significantly worse. They will remove degrees of, hey, I feel very good. If I eat a McDonald's burger, I'll have an immune reaction because there's so much trash in it.
Interesting.
Literally, you do. Once you clean out your system, you cannot eat that shit again because your body's not adapted to eating this shit. You will reach higher levels of function if you don't eat the stuff and clean this out of you. And then if you want to eat the stuff you used to eat, then your body needs to readapt, but you'll also lose some of those levels of function. There you go, Chad. See James at the back.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say, I had a similar thing where I was watching, I was trying to eat a lot cleaner, and in turn I ended up eating a lot less salt and all the sugar. And now if I have just random Chinese food that has MSG and stuff in it, or just a lot of salt, I will wake up with hot sweats in the middle of the night with a headache.
Why do you eat less salt?
Not that I was eating really bad for a long part of my life where I just ate a lot of fast food all the time. And it just, it's grass-fed meat and stuff. I was eating less salt, and I've noticed now that if I eat something from fast food that has a shit ton of sodium, it just fucks me up.
I eat a ton of salt, man. You should see the amount of salt I put on my steak. I eat a ton of salt. The thing is because you sweat that out and you need the sodium. There's a lot of people that say you don't need the sodium, but those are the FDA and they're bullshit. It's all wrong. The average person doesn't need as much sodium. That is true, because the average person is average. But if you want to be exceptional, then yeah. Like, hey, you want to work out more, you're going to sweat more, you're going to eat more of those materials. So it's very specific types of materials that rebuild your body. Also, these are other specific materials to get from other types of nutrition, which make your brain faster, blah, 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 whatever else. Right? But it doesn't give you the speed. And my body's a little different. It needs the carbohydrates. So now I'm going a high protein, low fat, high carb thing. And that has worked out perfectly for me. I've never felt better. I feel awesome. Like all the time.
Yeah, if you're cutting out carbs to the point where your body's running on like ketones and it's like burning fat to turn into energy, it's gonna take longer for your body to get energy that way. So carbs are just like fast energy. If your body wants fast energy, you gotta give it carbs.
Yep.
But you can also give it. There's better carbs. You know, like if you're getting carbs from like, legumes and like beans and stuff. And
beans over do that. They work you up real hard. I did beans for years.
Yeah, that's true.
I just eat bread.
I mean, there's a lot of good ways to get carbs, but there's a lot of shitty ways to get carbs. So it just depends. Yeah.
Bread, potatoes, pasta.
Yeah.
Pasta's pretty good. Pasta's neat.
I like sweet potatoes.
Oh, sweet potatoes are insane. Like you get the sugar in there, and you get everything. That's good. Yeah.
Pray less scared of you?
Yes. Actually form social bond with human. Like.
I'm not gonna hate it every second of it.
So this is Adrian Dittman, aka Elon
I
Musk.
gotta test you was there.
It was brutal, yeah. Brutal. The grindiness.
The thing is like. I'm not gonna hate it every second of it.
So this is Adrian Dittman, aka Elon
I
Musk.
gotta test you was there.
Love is something kids learn by watching.
This motherfucker's doxing me.
I'm not gonna hate it every second.
Did I get clipped?
Salt. It's just different salt. It's sodium, yes, but it's differently bound with glutamates and shit. That's the point of it. You get that out of stewing things, which is how you should be getting it done, not by artificially adding it in. You can artificially add it in if you're cooking things that don't, normally create this, but don't add too much of it in because it's gonna give you a bad time. It's generally how it goes. Same thing with salt.
What makes it okay to artificially add in salt, but not MSG?
Artificially adding it in. What I mean with that is that you add too much. Like you ignore the volume part. Why do you keep ignoring the volume part? Like you go, okay, that's substance. Here you are.
Like you can just replace every ounce of salt that you have with MSG, and nothing will happen.
No.
Like what would happen?
Breakdown is a bit different. Like the way
it sounds to me like you've just eaten the big salt propaganda. That's pretty much what it is. Because when MSG first hit the markets, all of the salt companies were basically like, we need to shut this shit down. And they started a big crusade against MSG where they fabricated a whole bunch of studies saying that was harmful. That have all been since redone.
Where did I say it was harmful? Point exact.
I'm talking about this comparison between salt and MSG. That's all I'm doing. I'm just basically comparing
your body
salt
doesn't
and MSG.
self-regulate properly until you've eaten a bunch of it, and you go, oh fuck, I think I've eaten a little too much. Which is the same thing that you'll get if you eat too much salt. It's literally the same thing, except that your body stops earlier at the salt than the MSG.
And you're talking against MSG specifically in a negative light in this area, and that's the part that's confusing.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that you oversalt. I'm saying that you oversalt. No, I'm saying that you oversalt with it, basically. You oversalt it. And your body doesn't notice that it's oversalted until it's too late, and that's why you have a reaction then, because you literally have eaten too much salt, if you wanted to think of it just from the salt perspective. That's what I'm saying. did that happen with MSG instead of normal salt?
Because your body just fucking keeps shoveling it in and doesn't say stop because it's not processed the same way. You have salt regulation in your body where you say, okay, I've had enough salt. That's what you do. By the way, you don't have that with sugar. That's just why you can keep eating sugar non-stop, because your body doesn't tell you to stop. And with the MSG, just notice it later because it's so fucking good. Your dopamine overrides everything. You just keep shoveling it in. And then your body goes, hey, that was a bad idea. You're not supposed to eat this much sodium. It's not a bad thing about MSG specifically. It's just that in certain foods it's overused, and then you may, there's just that may, gets the effect. And in case of James's case here, it's a perfect demonstration of exactly that. You eat a certain amount of salt, it's perfectly fine, everything's good, then you get your sodium content, it's nice, you're used to that, and now you introduce a shit ton of sodium because your body just like shoveled it in because it tastes so fucking amazing, and then you have a problem. Doesn't matter, it's like as if I would drink the salt right now. If I were to force myself to drink the salt, I probably wouldn't notice it until later and I would feel really bad. The same shit, doesn't matter. Just easier to consume. James has got his hand up.
I think the term is like hyper palatable. Yeah. In the U.S., we have way too much hyper palatable food that has too much like sodium or MSG or both, and especially with like you were saying like Doritos or like chips, you know, they just have they go for this level of to make it so palatable that people just consume too much of it, right? And then the problem is it's in this there's a zone, right, where like you can eat it but it doesn't like kill you, and maybe it doesn't give you adverse effects, worse enough effects for you to like stop eating because it tastes so good, and then your body adapts to it, and so you can continue eating it for decades because your body like adapts to it. The reality is like if you cut it out for like 2 weeks and then you try to eat it again, you'll start to see like the effects that are like kind of masked from being like adapting to it for so long. We're just really adaptable, so we can, as long as it's like only subtly making us feel shitty, it's like we don't even notice it.
It's also differently processed. Again, that's the major issue. It's differently processed by the body. Because when the body's trying to process MSG, it's going for the glutamates. Yeah, it's not the sodium.
The glutamates are like a amino acid attached to the sodium, I believe. Yeah.
Yes. That's how MSG gets made in a natural form. When you add salt into your food, and you say like with stews are a great example of this. So a lot of stuff is glutamates, onions, meat, wine. Wine has a lot of it. So what I was doing to make the best stews is I created basically by just having a bunch of onions, frying them, garlic as well, put the seasoning in there, and then add the salt in, and then I add in the meat, stir that around for a little bit, so you already have like everything is kind of moving around, and I add a shit ton more glutamates with the wine, then I squeeze in 1 or 2, maybe 4, depending on the volume, lemons that kind of stabilize what's about to happen. What happens is that when salt dissolves in water, it splits into sodium ions and chlorine ions, because you've got sodium chloride, so the chlorine goes out, and, sodium floats around, then that tries to bind with glutamate ions that have been released from the food that's in there, that then gets like, bound and stabilized by the lemon that you just put in there, and then it creates a natural. So it's just chemistry. It's literally you're just chemically creating it. And the thing is, with this, you kind of make sure that you don't create too much of it on accident because it's hyperpalatable. So you just add the amount of salt you were going to add in anyways, and then a certain amount of it gets turned into, MSG, and it's just going to be the right amount so you don't have too much sodium in your body. Because that is a problem.
When we distill it into a shaker that we can just add to our food, it's really easy to add.
Yes.
Like way too much.
That's the issue. Like you wouldn't even add this much salt into your food. If you tried it, you wouldn't be able to eat it. That's the problem. So your body would just go, finish. But then it's the MSG goes, oh fuck, I want to have more. And it's not specifically the problem with MSG, it's just that's the problem that the body just goes, fuck, I want more of the dopamine, it feels so good. Hyperpalatable, basically. Same thing when we like drink certain, energy drinks and various things, or just sugary drinks in general. Just love the feeling. We love the taste. It's awesome.
This is an AS. I got really used to drinking like seltzer that's like 0 calories or like very like they call like 20 calories or something. It's just like a tiny bit of juice in it or something. Just because it's low calorie. Also, like now my palate thinks that
observing and nourishing pedagogues.
Regular Coke or
When
something.
most people hear
It just
about
tastes
Great
so
Integrity,
sweet,
they
I
waver
can't
between
even-
belief
I
and
don't even want
disbelief.
it.
This is an
I don't have like a salt
diligently
version of
follow
this,
its
but for
path.
sugar, my
Ignorant
sort of
people hear
like
about it, they
gauge
laugh out
of
loud.
like, oh, is my
Why this very
palate kind of good on sugar right now? In terms of like, am I at the right, like, am I having a good amount of sugar for having too much sugar? Is if I eat like a fresh raspberry from the farmer's market, if it doesn't taste sweet to me, or it tastes like not that great, I'm probably eating too much sugar. And now I've adapted to more sugar, because if the raspberry tastes delicious to me, that means I've kept my sugar intake to a good level. That's like how I sort of keep my sugar in check, is raspberries still taste good.
Nice. Excellent.
This one just sounds so very tiring to me.
It's not. It's just a task.
I'm so happy that my body's like, I have food, thanks. And that's about as far as it cares about anything I put into it. I've even tried going the healthy, like, organic, grass-fed, like everything. It made absolutely no difference. None whatsoever. My body was just like, new food, great.
Yep. And that's you. You can sustain that. Not everybody else can do that. A lot of people are just like me and James and a bunch of others that do the same thing. Noah as well. Eats clean. I know a lot of us here eat clean. Although she eats a bunch of ice cream and shit. I sometimes do that too. Add a little fun in there. You can get away with stuff after a bit.
For me, it's like the portions, right? I had some ice cream today, but it was like a tiny little cup. That wasn't like too much. And so if I just put the portions down, I don't know. My wife just got this one that I just totally ate. It was hers. It was this little chocolate something with like honeycomb mixed into it. It was fantastic.
Like a Haagen-Dazs. Get like a Haagen-Dazs. Them shits are great. Anything that has less ingredients in it than the Ten Commandments is infinitely better than that does.
Ben and Jerry's are surprisingly like the best for this. Them hippies know how to make real good ice cream.
Have you guys seen that ice cream
stuff?
That Ninja like ice cream maker where you can like make your own ice cream at home?
No.
It's called the Ninja Creamy.
Bro, what?
I swear to God.
What a horrible name.
Worst name. But I made ice cream with I use a protein powder. I use like a snickerdoodle like cookie protein powder to make ice cream, and it was fucking delicious. It had like a crazy amount of protein per serving. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Right on.
Maybe Vera just has really good genetics, though. I'm kind of jealous. I wish I could just eat anything and be fine.
It is entirely possible that my dad was part of some weird military experiment that made us very unusual humans as far as tolerance to things goes.
I used to eat like McDonald's and like pizza and Burger King like every single day growing up. I just grew up where like both parents were working, and I ate a lot of fast food all the time. And I was fine until like my mid-20s, and then it was just like I just started to gain a bunch of weight, and the only way for me to like stay in a healthy weight is to stop eating so much fast food. It was like the only thing I could do.
Meanwhile, I just turned 37. My body works the exact same way it did when I was like 20.
That's awesome. I'm 39.
Today's your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, the balloons finally worked for once. And my 3 or so birthdays that I've actually been active on Twitter, it's the first time the balloons were like, hey, we're going to show up. It's like, oh, okay. Thanks, team. Where have you been the past couple years? Because, like, people didn't believe me. Like, it's my birthday. I'm like, I don't see any balloons. I was like, I don't know what's up with that. Like, they don't know what to tell you guys.
Bro, why is it? I love how everybody's like crashing out about the campaign of old screenshots.
They're like, oh, there's RTX in this, and they're like, ah. I'm like, yeah, I understand your system's gonna run a little shit, but you know there's a switch where you can turn it off.
What? What are we talking about? RTX and turning it off?
Halo. The new version of Halo.
I did not actually see that. I was busy, doing birthday stuffs with the in-laws.
Yeah. But no, it's the new Halo thing is coming out. New game.
Yeah. How did it look? Did it look like they were overextending themselves?
I don't know, man. All I'm gonna say it literally is like a Halo Infinite reskin of CE. That's pretty much it. I'm still gonna play it.
Are they actually using the old engine with with the new skin, or is it based on a new engine?
I think it is Unreal Engine because they said it is Unreal Engine.
Oh, it's Unreal. Okay. So I wonder if that's going to affect the feel of the game.
The Halo scene had the best fucking gun in any game ever in history.
That's
a big claim.
The pistol.
Yeah, the pistol is fucking awesome. You could snipe someone across the map and hang them high with that fucking pistol, dude.
They kind of did the same thing with the sidekick, but they changed it heavily. It's like it's the sidekick doesn't give the same feel. And I think the only gun in Halo Infinite, at least, that is like the sidekick that feels like the original Magnum is the Striker sidekick. That shit is a fucking sniper rifle, bro.
True.
Oh, and if you actually want to snipe someone across the map with a low fire rate, there's actually a little secret gun. There's like this map where basically you can call out, I forgot what it's called. It's like it's not Valheim, it's the other one. It's where basically you have like these different, it's a very outdoor map, really. It's the one where basically you sit on a spire and you fight a whole bunch of shit, then you move on to, a bunch of other places. There's literally the first one is always going to be on the spire, right? Like on one of the spires. And then you can move on to other things. There's like a little room there and all that kind of shit. But there's like a little mountain. You have to go on top of that mountain. You can grab that little gun over there. And it's basically a flex fire sniper rifle as a pistol. Oh, and every time you pick up a gun and then pick up that gun duplicates, so you can keep picking that up again and again and again and again and again.
Pistols. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's our pistol.
I don't want to work anymore. Because I'm working every day very hard, and I never have money.
Advanced warfare, and just to pass the time, we would do this thing where we get full teams of 6 people to line up with sniper rifles across the map. Like we would just find some open area, and we would just do old school war volleys where we would no scope towards the other team. We would reload, take a step forward, fire at each other again. Reload, take a step forward, fire each other again. You never see that shit in real games anymore. That shit's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I once ran like a lobby of people, and all we did was 360 no scope. So everybody, you couldn't kill anyone unless you 360 no scoped. And so everybody in that whole fucking lobby was just spinning, and it was the dumbest shit. It was so fucking funny. Well, we had one scrim where it's like, okay, this 360 is getting on our nerves. It's really difficult to do this. I'm like, okay, fine. How about we just no-scope each other? All right, that works. Everybody switched to a different type of no-scope, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, you guys. And so we then did that. It's like, no ADSing. The other guy cheated with the ADS. I'm like, no. It was fun. It was a lot of fun to me. I enjoyed it. And he's good, bro. Damn. That's awesome. I think I guessed that ethnicity correctly. Whew. I'm just going for notifications. It's going that post is going too. That's really interesting where that post is going. Hold on. First reaching Black Twitter, now it's reaching Asian Twitter. Which was it's like, somehow it's weird because it's like, it's Philippines Twitter meets Black Twitter. They seem to be the same. That's weird. this post here. This one. Maybe it oddly resonates with all those people. Real cool.
Oh, that one, yeah. I like that.
Yeah, that one. Alright, let's have a look here.
What do they say? I mean, you could interpret it many ways, I guess, if they wanted to. Interesting.
So I was out in public today, again a pizzeria. They were playing a Michael Jackson song. Well, it made me think, like, I've heard Michael Jackson on the radio recently, but I haven't heard R. Kelly. But where do we land with Diddy? Like, is he still radio worthy, or is he canceled from public radio?
Michael Jackson's always radio worthy.
Yeah, but R. Kelly isn't. We can all agree on that, I feel.
I don't know. R. Kelly's kind of like scarred into the face of time, so.
There's also that one guy who went to jail for trying to rape a baby. Like, I don't think we play his songs either. I forget who that was. He was like one of the emo guys earlier on.
Emo guy.
Let's see here, what was that band? I didn't even know this until like a couple days ago. It was like, oh, that's a pretty big. You went to jail for what?
I don't even want to Google that.
Yeah. Like, that's pretty high up on the list of fucked up things I've heard. Like, he tried to do what? Oh. Well, I ain't right. The lost cop, they call you weird. Watkins.
Was of Bill Cosby. Do we watch that? Or not yet?
I don't think many people were watching Cosby to begin with. But, like, up in the 2000s, he had some staying power, but I don't know.
When I was little, I didn't know. I was just watching it on TV when I was a child.
Same. Like, if we hear about it, like, man, Mr. Huxtable, that ain't right, dude.
I loved it.
I watched all the oldest shows. My favorite from that era was Soap. We have reboots and everything, but we haven't gotten a reboot of Soap. What's wrong with people? For those who don't know, Soap was literally just a satire on soap operas. Like the over-dramatic soap operas that just completely made it as fake as possible and as ridiculous as possible. And it was amazing.
Roseanne was great.
I was a good one too, and then she got canceled because she said some shit like they were gonna bring back the Connors and everything, and then she got canceled for saying some shit on Ambien. I still can't get over, like, racism is not a no side effect of Ambien. I'm like, you're not hanging around enough people on Ambien. I ain't gonna lie. It's your own product. You should be aware of this. This does happen. Some people do become racist on Ambien. That is a known thing.
And why is that? They notice patterns or what?
No, they're abnormally racist. They just don't care anymore. Because
was a hell of a drug.
Nah, I don't do drugs.
As far as drugs go, that's one of the few where I'm like, this is legal? People can be prescribed this drug that can just put you into a hypnotic state where you have no memory of what you did and you just do random ass shit? Yeah. Alright. Let's fucking go, America, I guess. I just remember the one time I took it and I sang the song I'm a Little Teapot for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours straight in a high falsetto. I don't know why. That's just what the Ambien decided I felt like doing. But very strange drug. Because it's not even like a normal sleep aid. It's not a sedative. It's a hypnotic. It rewires your brain to be like entirely limbic. It just like shuts off every other part of the brain just because you don't need that. It's gonna be full lizard brain for a bit. Society's just like, oh, okay.
Que papá.
That's also part of the whole, my body's just weird. Drugs affect me weird. Like Ambien does not actually put me to sleep. Just like how opiates make me hyperactive. Just kind of, that drugs don't do what they're supposed to do. It's kind of, it's been problematic for me and my dad at various points in time. Like when I went to get my tonsils out, they were like, count back from 100. I count back from 100. And they went, I don't think it's working. I went, I don't think it's working either. I don't think I'm supposed to be here to hear you guys say this conversation about it not working.
They're like, oh shit. That's funny.
If I had to guess, I would say, no, it's not working as expected.
The guy's not paralyzed. Fuck.
Hi, what are you doing awake? I don't know. I thought that was your job to know what that's about. I'm just kind of here to get cut open. I don't really know what to tell you guys on this front. It seems like this is an unexpected result, but I don't know. You do this every day. I'm just a guest on this stage.
Now that stuff looks great on me. I only had it done once. I had one operation in my life, but like I just remember the mask closing to my face. I was out, and then I was back again, and felt like I had the best sleep in my life. Like it was great.
After the second time, it was in my folder. They were just like, don't use this stuff. When I had my gallbladder removed, they were like, all right, we're going to use this stuff. And I went, 199. Oh, hey, my stomach feels weird. What's up?
That's crazy.
What's really crazy is that we still don't actually know how
anesthetics work. Yeah, let's bring that part up next. Yeah, we know that it works. We know that certain things work, but we actually don't know exactly why it works.
Why does this knock us out? I don't know. Don't think about it too hard.
It's just a chemical that is consistently doing exactly that. Does it damage anything? No, not really. Okay. It's like the thing you do to your computer where it's like, hey, by the way, your Streamlabs thing doesn't start properly unless you open the website first, reload a whole bunch of times until all the sources show. Why is that? Why does it work and then not work? I don't know. I just know that fixes it. Why? Beats me.
It does. Stop asking questions.
I have no memory, nothing. It was like teleportation. I just wake up in another room, hours later, fix up.
The most insane kind of like anesthetics are the ones which make you just kind of remove your filter for certain things and just take away some parts of your brain function, like in terms of reasoning. So you just say some of the dumbest shit and you react in some of the funniest ways. That's really interesting anesthetic.
Like
I see that happen a lot. Yeah, I guess it does exactly that. Yeah, pretty much.
Wild stuff. You're just gonna be entirely limbic system. All of your main reasoning just out the window. Don't worry about it. You don't need it anymore. Which, in your normal human being, makes them go, oh, okay, I guess I'll just go sleepy then. But apparently, in some people, it just makes you go, well, I'm just going to be obstinately awake for like 14 hours in defiance of this. Like, I remember, I think the last time I took Ambien, because I wanted to go to sleep before I had a job interview at Frito-Lay or something. I took it and I just wound up staying up the entire night. Like, I just stayed up all the way through to the interview, which was like 20 hours later. Sometimes brains just be weird like that.
Bro, what? Sorry, my general chat right now just was hilarious. Control 6 goes, the way I pulled into this conversation leaves me wishing that Katie Off's dad pulled out. Jesus Christ. God. Yeah, it's entertaining in there right now. I'm actually thinking, what I could do right now is I could probably end the space here. I think it was a great show. It was really neat. And y'all can join me on Discord. And I'll be in the. It's kind of like Spaces, very similar. So I'll be in there. So yeah, if you'd like to join me there, that'd be pretty cool too.
That's good. See you there.
So everybody, go click the link up at the top right there. It's there. I'll be in the stages section, and yeah, we'll kind of continue the show there. So everybody, make sure to join us there, join the conversation, the continuance of it there, and then I'll be in there for like an hour or so, and then I'll start streaming, which I'll be in the advanced member section, which you can subscribe to. But if you just want to after the show continue, join that, and yeah, link is up at the top if you haven't already. It's there. Then we'll have like a whole thing. Gonna be fine.
See you guys over there.
Yeah. You there?
Yeah. It's like up at the top, right there. If you haven't seen it already, if it flies been in there, it's there.
just found something cool that helps me earn a bit of extra cash and declutter my space. Watch this. So this app is Karen, where you can buy...
Tao Te Ching can be translated as the book of the imminence of the way, or the book of the way and of how it manifests itself in the world, or simply the book of the way. Since it is already well known by its Chinese title, I have let that stand. About Lao Tzu, its author, there's practically nothing to be said. He may have been an older contemporary of Confucius, 551 to 479 BCE, and may have held the position of archive keeper in one of the petty kingdoms of the time. But all the information that has come down to us is highly suspect. Even the meaning of his name is uncertain. The most likely interpretations, the old master, or more picturesquely, the old boy. Like an Iroquois woodsman, he left no traces. All he left us is his book, the classic manual on the art of living, written in a style of gem-like lucidity, radiant with humor and grace, and large-heartedness and deep wisdom, one of the wonders of the world. People usually think of Lao Tzu as a hermit, a dropout from society, dwelling serenely in some mountain hut, unvisited except perhaps by the occasional traveler arriving from a 60s joke to ask, what is the meaning of life? But it's clear from his teachings that he deeply cared about society, if society means the welfare of one's fellow human beings. His book is, among other things, a treatise on the art of government, whether of a country or of a child. The misperception may arise from his insistence on wei wu wei, literally, doing, not doing, which has been seen as passivity. Nothing could be further from the truth. A good athlete can enter a state of body awareness in which the right stroke or the right movement happens by itself, effortlessly, without any interference of the conscious will. This is a paradigm for non-action, the purest and most effective form of action. The game plays the game. The poem writes the poem. We can't tell the dancer from the dance. Less and less do you need to force things, until finally you arrive at non-action. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. Nothing is done because the doer has wholeheartedly vanished into the deed. The fuel has been completely transformed into flame. This nothing is in fact everything. It happens when we trust the intelligence of the universe in the same way that an athlete or a dancer trusts the superior intelligence of the body. Hence Lao Tzu's emphasis on softness. Softness means the opposite of rigidity and is synonymous with suppleness, adaptability, endurance. Anyone who has seen a Tai Chi or Aikido master doing not doing will know how powerful this softness is. Lao Tzu's central figure is a man or woman whose life is in perfect harmony with the way things are. This is not an idea, it is a reality. I have seen it. The master has mastered nature, not in the sense of conquering it, but of becoming it. In surrendering to the Tao, in giving up all concepts, judgments, and desires, her mind has grown naturally compassionate. She finds, deep in her own experience, the central truths of the art of living, which are paradoxical only on the surface, that the more truly solitary we are, the more compassionate we can be. The more we let go of what we love, the more present our love becomes. The clearer our insight into what is beyond good and evil, the more we can embody the good. Until finally she is able to say, in all humility, I am the Tao, the truth, the life. The teaching of the Tao Te Ching is moral in the deepest sense, unencumbered by any concept of sin. The master doesn't see evil as a force to resist, but simply as an opaqueness, a state of self-absorption, which is in disharmony with the universal process, so that, as with a dirty window, the light can't shine through. This freedom from moral categories allows him his great compassion for the wicked, and the selfish. Thus, the master is available to all people and doesn't reject anyone. He is ready to use all situations and doesn't waste anything. This is called embodying the light. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? If you don't understand this, you will get lost, however intelligent you are. It is the great secret. The listener will notice that in the many passages where Lao Tzu describes the master, I've used the pronoun she at least as often as he. The Chinese language doesn't make this kind of distinction. In English, we have to choose. But since we are all potentially the master, since the master is essentially us, I felt it would be untrue to present a male archetype, as other versions have ironically done. Ironically, because of all the great world religions, the teaching of Lao Tzu is by far the most female. Of course, you should feel free throughout the recording to substitute he for she, or vice versa. As to method, I worked from Paul Karas's literal version, which provides English equivalents, often very quaint ones, alongside each of the Chinese ideograms. I also consulted dozens of translations into English, German, and French. But the most essential preparation for my work was a 14 years long course of Zen training, which brought me face to face with Lao Tzu and his true disciples and heirs, the early Chinese Zen masters. With great poetry, the freest translation is sometimes the most faithful. We must try its effect as an English poem, Dr. Johnson said. That is the way to judge of the merit of a translation. I have often been fairly literal, or as literal as one can be with such a subtle, kaleidoscopic book as the Tao Te Ching. But I have also paraphrased, expanded, contracted, interpreted, worked with the text, played with it, until it became embodied in a language that felt genuine to me. If I haven't always translated Lao Tzu's words, my intention has always been to translate his mind. Describing the indescribable, teaching the unteachable, pointing the way to the way. What does Lao Tzu think he is doing here? It can't be done. No way.
This is a Japanese sardine. It's one of the most time-consuming cuts of sushi to make because each one can take out a general small silver fish are delicate and can't be served out of the box. We're here to see how to make this one piece of an 18-course dinner from start to finish.
How could he have been such a blabbermouth? That's the problem with spiritual teachers. They have to be blabbermouths. But their words are, in the traditional Buddhist metaphor, fingers pointing at the moon. If you watch the finger, you can't see the moon. How meticulous the great masters had to be. A monk asked Matsu, "Why do you teach mind is Buddha?" Matsu said, "To stop a baby from crying." The monk said, "When the crying has stopped, what then?" Matsu said, "Then I teach, not mind, not Buddha."
This guy's a genius. He stopped frying chicken and started cooking it with water. He adds 800 grams of chicken to a hot pan with water and cooks it for 10 minutes. Then he adds a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and 3 cloves of garlic. He mixes everything well so the flavors soak in perfectly.
Matsu said,
After that, he adds half a cup of water, covers the pan, and cooks for 5 more minutes. He says this trick came from a 5-star chef who told him never to share it, but he just couldn't keep it. This company is only 5 years.
So simple that every child understands it. And yet, as Bankei said, the farther you enter into it, the deeper it is. Where is the way to the way? What a question. Still, for complicated minds, drastic measures are needed. Lao Tzu's book was written as a response out of grandmotherly kindness. According to the oldest biography, Lao Tzu lived for a long time in the country of Chu, but seeing its decline, he departed. When he reached the frontier, the guard said, "Since you are going away, sir, could you write a book to teach me the art of living?" Thereupon, Lao Tzu wrote his book about the Tao and departed. This is legend, but it is an accurate description of the way in which true teaching happens. He who knows doesn't talk, but words are no hindrance for him. He uses them as he would use gardening tools. When someone asks, he answers. Tao Te Ching. 1. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Yet mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. This source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness. The gateway to all understanding. 2. When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. Being and non-being create each other. Difficult and easy support each other. Long and short define each other. High and low depend on each other. Before and after follow each other. Therefore the master acts without doing anything and teaches without saying anything. Things arise and she lets them come. Things disappear and she lets them go. She has but doesn't possess, acts but doesn't expect. When her work is done, she forgets it. That is why it lasts forever. 3. If you overesteem great men, people become powerless. If you overvalue possessions, people begin to steal. The master leads by emptying people's minds and filling their cores, by weakening their ambition and toughening their resolve. He helps people lose everything they know, everything they desire, and creates confusion in those who think that they know. Practice not doing, and everything will fall into place. 4. The Tao is like a well, used but never used up. It is like the eternal void, filled with infinite possibilities. It is hidden but always present. I don't know who gave birth to it. It is older than God. 5. The Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to both good and evil. The Master doesn't take sides. She welcomes both saints and sinners. The Tao is like a bellows. It is empty, yet infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. Hold on to the center. 6. The Tao is called the Great Mother. Empty, yet inexhaustible. It gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you. You can use it any way you want. 7. The Tao is infinite, eternal. Why is it eternal? It was never born, thus it can never die. Why is it infinite? It has no desires for itself, thus it is present for all beings. The Master stays behind. That is why she is ahead. She is detached from all things. That is why she is one with them. Because she has let go of herself, she is perfectly fulfilled. 8. The supreme good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. It is content with the low places that people disdain. Thus, it is like the Tao. In dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. 9. Fill your bowl to the brim, and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife, and it will blunt. Chase after money and security, and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval, and you will be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. 10. Can you coax your mind from its wandering and keep to the original oneness? Can you let your body become supple as a newborn child's? Can you cleanse your inner vision until you see nothing but the light? Can you love people and lead them without imposing your will? Can you deal with the most vital matters by letting events take their course? Can you step back from your own mind and thus understand all things? Giving birth and nourishing possessing, acting with no expectations, leading and not trying to control. This is the supreme virtue. 11. We join spokes together in a wheel, but it is the center whole that makes the wagon move. We shape clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that holds whatever we want. We hammer wood for a house, but it is the inner space that makes it livable. We work with being, but non-being is what we use. 12. Colors blind the eye. Sounds deafen the ear. Flavors numb the taste. Thoughts weaken the mind. Desires wither the heart. The master observes the world, but trusts his inner vision. He allows things to come and go. His heart is open as the sky. 13. Success is as dangerous as failure. Hope is as hollow as fear. What does it mean that success is as dangerous as failure? Whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is shaky. When you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance. What does it mean that hope is as hollow as fear? Hope and fear are both phantoms that arise from thinking of the self. When we don't see the self as self, what do we have to fear? See the world as yourself. Have faith in the way things are. Love the world as yourself. Then you can care for all things. 14. Look, and it can't be seen. Listen, and it can't be heard. Reach, and it can't be grasped. Above, it isn't bright. Below, it isn't dark. Seamless, unnameable, it returns to the realm of nothing. Form that includes all forms. Image without an image. Subtle, beyond all conception. Approach it, and there is no beginning. Follow it, and there is no end. You can't know it, but you can be it. At ease in your own life. Just realize where you come from. This is the essence of wisdom. 15. The ancient masters were profound and subtle. Their wisdom was unfathomable. There is no way to describe it. All we can describe is their appearance. They were careful as someone crossing an iced-over stream, alert as a warrior in enemy territory, courteous as a guest, fluid as melting ice, shapeable as a block of wood, receptive as a valley, clear as a glass of water. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? The master doesn't seek fulfillment. Not seeking, not expecting. She is present and can welcome all things. 16. Empty your mind of all thoughts. Let your heart be at peace. Watch the turmoil of beings, but contemplate their return. Each separate being in the universe returns to the common source. Returning to the source is serenity. If you don't realize the source, you stumble in confusion and sorrow. When you realize where you come from, you naturally become tolerant, disinterested, amused, kind-hearted as a grandmother, dignified as a king. Immersed in the wonder of the Tao, you can deal with whatever life brings you. And when death comes, you are ready. 17. When the master governs, the people are hardly aware that he exists. Next best is a leader who is loved. Next, one who is feared. The worst is one who is despised. If you don't trust the people, you make them untrustworthy. The master doesn't talk, he acts. When his work is done, the people say, "Amazing, we did it, all by ourselves." 18. When the great Tao is forgotten, goodness and piety appear. When the body's intelligence declines, cleverness and knowledge step forth. When there is no peace in the family, filial piety begins. When the country falls into chaos, patriotism is born. 19. Throw away holiness and wisdom, and people will be 100 times happier. Throw away morality and justice, and people will do the right thing. Throw away industry and profit, and there won't be any thieves. If these three aren't enough, just stay at the center of the circle and let all things take their course. 20. Stop thinking and end your problems. What difference between yes and no? What difference between success and failure? Must you value what others value? Avoid what others avoid? How ridiculous. Other people are excited, as though they were at a parade. I alone don't care. I alone am expressionless, like an infant before it can smile. Other people have what they need. I alone possess nothing. I alone drift about like someone without a home. I am like an idiot. My mind is so empty. Other people are bright. I alone am dark. Other people are sharp. I alone am dull. Other people have a purpose. I alone don't know. I drift like a wave on the ocean. I blow as aimless as the wind. I am different from ordinary people. I drink from the great mother's breasts. 21. The master keeps her mind always at one with the Tao. That is what gives her her radiance. The Tao is ungraspable. How can her mind be at one with it? Because she doesn't cling to ideas. The Tao is dark and unfathomable. How can it make her radiant? Because she lets it. Since before time and space were, the Tao is. It is beyond is and is not. How do I know this is true? I look inside myself and see. If you want to become whole, let yourself be partial. If you want to become straight, let yourself be crooked. If you want to become full, let yourself be empty. If you want to be reborn, let yourself die. If you want to be given everything, give everything up. The Master, by residing in the Tao, sets an example for all beings. Because he doesn't display himself, people can see his light. Because he has nothing to prove, people can trust his words. Because he doesn't know who he is, people recognize themselves in him. Because he has no goal in mind, everything he does succeeds. When the ancient masters said, if you want to be given everything, give everything up, they weren't using empty phrases. Only in being lived by the Tao can you be truly yourself. 23. Express yourself completely. Then keep quiet. Be like the forces of nature. When it blows, there is only wind. When it rains, there is only rain. When the clouds pass, the sun shines through. If you open yourself to the Tao, you are at one with the Tao, and you can embody it completely. If you open yourself to insight, you are at one with insight, and you can use it completely. If you open yourself to loss, you are at one with loss, and you can accept it completely. Open yourself to the Tao, then trust your natural responses, and everything will fall into place. 24. He who stands on tiptoe doesn't stand firm. He who rushes ahead doesn't go far. He who tries to shine dims his own light. He who defines himself can't know who he really is. He who has power over others can't empower himself. He who clings to his work will create nothing that endures. If you want to accord with the Tao, just do your job, then let go. 25. There was something formless and perfect before the universe was born. It is serene, empty, solitary, unchanging, infinite, eternally present. It is the mother of the universe. For lack of a better name, I call it the Tao. It flows through all things, inside and outside, and returns to the origin of all things. The Tao is great. The universe is great. Earth is great. Man is great. These are the four great powers. Man follows the earth. Earth follows the universe. The universe follows the Tao. The Tao follows only itself. 26. The heavy is the root of the light. The unmoved is the source of all movement. Thus the master travels all day without leaving home. However splendid the views, she stays serenely in herself. Why should the lord of the country flit about like a fool? If you let yourself be blown to and fro, you lose touch with your root. If you let restlessness move you, you lose touch with who you are. "27. A good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent upon arriving. A good artist lets his intuition lead him wherever it wants. A good scientist has freed himself of concepts and keeps his mind open to what is. Thus the master is available to all people and doesn't reject anyone. He is ready to use all situations and doesn't waste anything. This is called embodying the light. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? If you don't understand this, you will get lost, however intelligent you are. It is the great secret. 28. Know the male, yet keep to the female. Receive the world in your arms. If you receive the world, the Tao will never leave you, and you will be like a little child. Know the white, yet keep to the black. Be a pattern for the world. If you are a pattern for the world, the Tao will be strong inside you, and there will be nothing you can't do. Know the personal, yet keep to the impersonal. Accept the world as it is. If you accept the world, the Tao will be luminous inside you, and you will return to your primal self. The world is formed from the void, like utensils from a block of wood. The master knows the utensils, yet keeps to the block. Thus she can use all things. 29. Do you want to improve the world? I don't think it can be done. The world is sacred. It can't be improved. If you tamper with it, you'll ruin it. If you treat it like an object, you'll lose it. There's a time for being ahead, a time for being behind, a time for being in motion, a time for being at rest, a time for being vigorous, a time for being exhausted, a time for being safe, a time for being in danger. The master sees things as they are, without trying to control them. She lets them go their own way and resides at the center of the circle. the Tao in governing men doesn't try to force issues or defeat enemies by force of arms. For every force, there is a counterforce. Violence, even well-intentioned, always rebounds upon oneself. The master does his job and then stops. He understands that the universe is forever out of control, and that trying to dominate events goes against the current of the Tao. Because he believes in himself, he doesn't try to convince others. Because he is content with himself, he doesn't need others' approval. Because he accepts himself, the whole world accepts him. 31. Weapons are the tools of violence. All decent men detest them. Weapons are the tools of fear. A decent man will avoid them, except in the direst necessity, and if compelled, will use them only with the utmost restraint. Peace is his highest value. If the peace has been shattered, how can he be content? His enemies are not demons, but human beings like himself. He doesn't wish them personal harm, nor does he rejoice in victory. How could he rejoice in victory and delight in the slaughter of men? He enters a battle gravely, with sorrow, and with great compassion, as if he were attending a funeral. 32. The Tao can't be perceived. Smaller than an electron, it contains uncountable galaxies. If powerful men and women could remain centered in the Tao, all things would be in harmony. The world would become a paradise. All people would be at peace, and the law would be written in their hearts. When you have names and forms, know that they are provisional. When you have institutions, know where their functions should end. Knowing when to stop, you can avoid any danger. All things end in the Tao, as rivers flow into the sea. 33. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. If you realize that you have enough, you are truly rich. If you stay in the center and embrace death with your whole heart, you will endure forever. The great Tao flows everywhere. All things are born from it. yet it doesn't create them. It pours itself into its work, yet it makes no claim. It nourishes infinite worlds, yet it doesn't hold on to them. Since it is merged with all things and hidden in their hearts, it can be called humble. Since all things vanish into it, and it alone endures, it can be called great. It isn't aware of its greatness, thus it is truly great. She who is centered in the Tao can go where she wishes without danger. She perceives the universal harmony, even amid great pain, because she has found peace in her heart. Music or the smell of good cooking may make people stop and enjoy. But words that point to the Tao seem monotonous and without flavor. When you look for it, there is nothing to see. When you listen for it, there is nothing to hear. When you use it, it is inexhaustible. 36. If you want to shrink something, you must first allow it to expand. If you want to get rid of something, you must first allow it to flourish. If you want to take something, you must first allow it to be given. This is called the subtle perception of the way things are. The soft overcomes the hard. The slow overcomes the fast. Let your workings remain a mystery. This is called the subtle perception of the way things are. The soft overcomes the hard. The slow overcomes the fast. Let your workings remain a mystery. Just show people the results. 37. The Tao never does anything, yet through it all things are done. If powerful men and women could center themselves in it, the whole world would be transformed by itself in its natural rhythms. People would be content with their simple, everyday lives, in harmony and free of desire. When there is no desire, all things are at peace. 38. The master doesn't try to be powerful. Thus, he is truly powerful. The ordinary man keeps reaching for power. Thus, he never has enough. The master does nothing, yet he leaves nothing undone. The ordinary man is always doing things, yet many more are left to be done. The kind man does something, yet something remains undone. The just man does something and leaves many things to be done. The moral man does something, and when no one responds, he rolls up his sleeves and uses force. When the Tao is lost, there is goodness. When goodness is lost, there is morality. When morality is lost, there is ritual. Ritual is the husk of true faith, the beginning of chaos. Therefore, the master concerns himself with the depths and not the surface, with the fruit and not the flower. He has no will of his own. He dwells in reality and lets all illusions go. In harmony with the Tao, the sky is clear and spacious. The earth is solid and full. All creatures flourish together, content with the way they are, endlessly repeating themselves, endlessly renewed. When man interferes with the Tao, the sky becomes filthy, the earth becomes depleted, the equilibrium crumbles, creatures become extinct. The master views the parts with compassion because he understands the whole. His constant practice is humility. He doesn't glitter like a jewel, but lets himself be shaped by the Tao, as rugged and common as a stone. 40. Return is the movement of the Tao. Yielding is the way of the Tao. All things are born of being. Being is born of non-being. When a superior man hears of the Tao, he immediately begins to embody it. When an average man hears of the Tao, he half believes it, half doubts it. When a foolish man hears of the Tao, he laughs out loud. If he didn't laugh, it wouldn't be the Tao. Thus it is said, the path into the light seems dark. The path forward seems to go back. The direct path seems long. True power seems weak. True purity seems tarnished. True steadfastness seems changeable. True clarity seems obscure. The greatest art seems unsophisticated. The greatest love seems indifferent. The greatest wisdom seems childish. The Tao is nowhere to be found. yet it nourishes and completes all things. 42. The Tao gives birth to one. One gives birth to two. Two gives birth to three. Three gives birth to all things. All things have their backs to the female and stand facing the male. When male and female combine, all things achieve harmony. Ordinary men hate solitude, but the master makes use of it, embracing his aloneness, realizing he is one with the whole universe. 43. The gentlest thing in the world overcomes the hardest thing in the world. That which has no substance enters where there is no space. This shows the value of non-action. Teaching without words, performing without actions. That is the master's way. 44. Fame or integrity, which is more important? Money or happiness, which is more valuable? Success or failure, which is more destructive? If you look to others for fulfillment, you will never truly be fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. 45. True perfection seems imperfect, yet it is perfectly itself. True fullness seems empty, yet it is fully present. True straightness seems crooked. True wisdom seems foolish. True art seems artless. The master allows things to happen. She shapes events as they come. She steps out of the way and lets the Tao speak for itself. 46. When a country is in harmony with the Tao, the factories make trucks and tractors. When a country goes counter to the Tao, warheads are stockpiled outside the cities. There is no greater illusion than fear, no greater wrong than preparing to defend yourself, no greater misfortune than having an enemy. Whoever can see through all fear will always be safe. 47. Without opening your door, you can open your heart to the world. without looking out your window, you can see the essence of the Tao. The more you know, the less you understand. The master arrives without leaving, sees the light without looking, achieves without doing a thing. In the pursuit of knowledge, every day something is added. In the practice of the Tao, every day something is dropped. Less and less do you need to force things, until finally you arrive at non-action. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. True mastery can be gained by letting things go their own way. It can't be gained by interfering. The master has no mind of her own. She works with the mind of the people. She is good to people who are good. She's also good to people who aren't good. This is true goodness. She trusts people who are trustworthy. She also trusts people who aren't trustworthy. This is true trust. The master's mind is like space. People don't understand her. They look to her and wait. She treats them like her own children. The master gives himself up to whatever the moment brings. He knows that he is going to die, and he has nothing left to hold on to. No illusions in his mind, no resistances in his body. He doesn't think about his actions. They flow from the core of his being. He holds nothing back from life. Therefore, he is ready for death, as a man is ready for sleep after a good day's work. 51. Every being in the universe is an expression of the Tao. It springs into existence